There we go. Did that video then. Welcome to another episode of Jake's Metal Chat. Yeah, my hair is a bit wet because I just had a shower, so we'll be moving around a lot. I should do it now. Yeah, it's been a month since my last one, so okay, got one of the guests from the band that I'm gonna be chatting to today. It's a whole band, like from my second episode with Dennis on the costume. Just get a drink out, so I'll let them on in a minute. So before I start, hope everyone's been enjoying these videos because, like we said, we're all stuck indoors. They have lifted some restrictions, but yeah, yeah, I'm going to get them all on. Admit and close, and I think we have people. I think I hear people, but I don't see people. Oh wait, there's one person. There's a Dave. Well, we did see a Dave. There he is.
We did. Let's fix the background that I had on my last Zoom call, because that is quite unprofessional. I do apologise. There we go.
Got Chris, but his audio's off. Happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jake. Cheers.
I have to say that for this episode of Jake's Metal Chat. Like the shirt.
Thank you. Picked it out specially for today.
Yeah, no. Well, I picked out this one specially today because you supported him.
Oh, yes. I see Chris. See Big
Chris.
Papa.
Hello. See Dave. Am I audible?
Yes,
you are.
You are audible.
Fantastic.
It's all trial and error.
Are we just waiting for the Sam now?
We're just waiting for the Sam.
What an unprecedented situation.
He'll be up when he's up. I did this with this whole costume as well. I had all them on with the second episode that I did. All the others have just been one member from each band.
That's awesome. Well, anyway, before we crack on, many happy returns, Dave.
Oh, thank you, Mr. B.
You made it another year without dying.
I did. I leveled up.
We're all getting there.
Well, everything that's going on, I managed to level up.
Yeah, awesome.
Fantastic news. Getting nice presents.
Yeah. Oh, you'd appreciate actually. I got a cookbook and some silicone oven tray liner things.
Oh, brilliant.
Hot damn! And more booze than I could drink in a lifetime. So
yeah.
I think as a man, once you kind of get past 25, like friends and relatives, they're just like, fuck it, booze.
Yeah.
Of course, booze. You need booze for your birthday.
But you know, of course, like nothing wrong with booze for your birthday.
Nothing wrong with booze.
But
the thing is, what happens when you're 25 is you realise that the world's an incredibly depressing place and a horrible place to live in.
Oh yes, it's a very, very depressive place. Well, I had to message Sam saying, "Turn your camera on because we can't see him." Can't really introduce to everyone. Introduce you to everyone until everyone's on here.
Of course, are we have we gone live, as they say in the podcast industry, or is this all?
Oh, this is pre-recording. I'm gonna upload it.
That's okay. Cool.
Because if it was live stream, you'll be shown on this big TV.
No.
HDMI cable and everything. So I'll be doing it live from Facebook.
Like in the mug, Chris. Chris is rocking Mr. Perfect.
Mr.
Perfect. I've got a.
He thinks he's Mr. Perfect. Well, he is.
I am. I'm absolutely amazing.
Well, I mean, I've got a couple of metal mugs I could have chosen from. Like, I've got a really nice Slayer one, got a really nice like Queens of the Stone Age tour one. So of course I've gone for the Ratatouille one I bought in Disneyland.
Can't go wrong with Ratatouille.
Hey,
I always say Ratatouille, like tuna wrap.
It's a good mug. It's a good mug. Very high quality. Uncle Walt's finest.
There he is.
There he is. There's our boy.
Can you hear us? Okay, he can. But
we can't hear you, but we
hear
can,
you. But
I see it, Sam.
We can.
But we cannot hear a Sam.
We cannot hear a Sam.
No.
Which is weird. don't know if he's turned the audio on, but it says his audio's on. I can mute him, but then there'd be no point.
You're saying
Strange
one.
He may not have the right input picked in Zoom. Doodah.
I'm still getting the hang of this because at
Yeah.
first I was just like, okay, let's just have it for a while. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do these, I might as well update to a full account.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was considering, getting the interface in and doing it with like the headphones and a little mic mounted on a mic stand, like the proper Twitch streamer kind of setup.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing some Twitch stream stuff. I don't know, like video games and music stuff.
Certainly for that, Dave, you need a show SM7.
And SM, oh yeah, they all have that, don't they?
There's all the microphones people use.
To be fair, that's the microphone that was like within reach of me. I could have got the AKG out.
Oh yeah, be Mr. Fancy.
Yeah, be
Mr. Yeah. Ooh, fancy.
Mr. Boy with the fancy.
Of course, Mr. Fancy. Well, I might as well introduce YouTube to you people.
Absolutely.
Don't know who these guys are yet. This is Dave. It's his birthday today.
Hello, I'm old as fuck.
This is Chris. And this is Sam, who's still trying to sort out his audio. But he's waving, so hopefully his voice will be heard throughout this conversation.
Oh, no,
the camera's just gone off. Don't worry, it's all trial and error. So these guys are from a band called Ascaris. Check them out if you haven't yet.
Please do.
Please do.
You can find us on
They need to eat.
Listen to us on Spotify and Bandcamp and whatnot. You can check us all out.
Yeah, we might as well get out where we can listen to you and get your stuff.
Yeah, get the plugs out of the way.
Get the plugs out of the way before I say at the end. Before we start talking nonsense or whatever. This is what this is about: talking metal and nonsense and beer.
Absolutely.
And
those are two things we are well versed in, Jake.
Well, yeah, not just metal.
Have we got audio for Sam yet?
No. But just getting stuff on the Griffin about 1914 playing the Griffin, but is that going to happen next year? Who knows? Should do.
Hopefully, we've just had a gig offer for March in the Griffin, so I hope so.
I'm sure by then we will.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, I can't imagine it will be the way that we're reopening everything at the moment. I can't imagine March being an unrealistic date to do a little punk gig.
No, that's true.
No, not at the moment. Not for gigs anyway, because there's been so many booked at the Griffin. Like for October, let's do for October. Yeah, that's gonna be the day we all start back going to gigs. It'll probably be like next year, like start of February or something.
Yeah.
No, I've had to miss so many good gigs this year already. So
we've missed a lot of good gigs. I've been just watching a lot of bands on like Twitch Devin Townsend's been on like Twitch for one stream he did.
Oh, he's the king of Twitch.
He's the king of Twitch. If we can't see him live, we'll see him on Twitch. Okay. Well,
Devin Townsend's one of those people who's the king of everything he does anyway.
Yeah,
there's no denying that. He is the king.
Been watching a lot of old festival sets on YouTube and stuff, because there's just so many, hundreds of like the pro cam footage takes as well. So that's been really good.
It's like one pro cam. Bloody hell, I can't talk today. Pro cam. There's one there. There's one up above. Aerial. While playing aerials, and it's just cutting out set aerials. No, you just ruined it.
Yeah, I think I watched watched a Behemoth one a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
that was really good.
Good. First one, the Bloodstock they were meant to be playing.
Yeah, Therapy at Vakken. That one was fun as well.
I've just been watching all sorts of sets, mainly old school sets before I even got into the scene, like from the 90s and that.
Yeah.
Just because. Well, Sam's still sorting out his crap, but I'll ask anyway.
I'll see if
where did your journey begin within the world of metal or just music in general?
Well, for me personally, I had a kind of a weird trajectory with discovering of metal. think a lot of people kind of went down, especially at our age group. It was new metal they discovered first,
Yeah.
and then it started progressing quite heavy. I discovered Linkin Park, ended up buying a Decapitated CD and MVC. I don't know if that was a semi-national chain, but yeah, if you remember MVC.
Oh, that's going back.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Purely because I was 13, 14, and the band was called Decapitated, which is
Obviously,
cool.
if you don't know Decapitated, then check them out. But obviously, whoever's going to be watching this will know who Decapitated is.
This is it. And
but if not, there you go.
Basically, bought that CD, took it home, and went on from there. Really.
Oh, fair enough. That's all good. And you, Dave?
I think for me it was, well, sort of always growing up. Like my folks, they're not big metalheads as such, but they'd always put music on in the house, and they did have a couple of things that were a bit heavier. Like my mum had a couple of old Sabbath and old Van Halen records. Like my dad had like Status Quo. They'd always say that they apparently played the Brothers in Arms album to me in the womb, apparently, and I was like kicking at it. So, which is why I now move microwave ovens for a living.
That's why microwave oven. Why not?
But the thing that really did it, and if you'll excuse me, I'll go and grab it off the shelf.
Yeah, go for it.
Quite unexpected. The thing
you can show your stuff in this chat. Is all good.
Sorry for my departure. My cat's in the garden. I heard a little bird squawking. I think she went for a magpie, so check that out.
These magpies. Well, there was one cat on my nan's street up in Hartcliffe, and I think the cat had its tail picked off by magpies.
Oh no!
Like pecked off. I was like, oh, poor.
Yeah, strangely, the piece of media that got me into heavy music was the soundtrack of Destruction Derby 2 on PlayStation 1.
That's I never played that. I had a PlayStation 1, never played it.
If you've ever listened to it, it's absolutely stunning. Apparently, it was one of the developers was just in like an unsigned band, and they put instrumental versions of all their songs as the game's soundtrack, but it's proper like mid-90s kind of groove metal, Sepultura, Pantera worship kind of saturated guitar tone.
Why not?
And the good thing is with the old PlayStation games as well, because all the music was on a CD audio. So you open this up, you slap that disc in a CD player, and it just plays like a CD.
Yeah, I remember those good old days.
Before sort of going down the Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach route, this was my favourite metal album.
His favourite metal album is a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah. Honestly, have a listen to the soundtrack, it'll blow your nuts off.
There's nothing wrong with that. Because the games I played as a kid on the PlayStation was obviously there's the Die Hard trilogy video game, and there's the second one, and also Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
And I got a copy of Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation 1 and Dino Crisis 1 and 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I bought a HDMI connector for my PlayStation 2 that I can connect to the TV.
Oh,
you can do that now, apparently. And I'm going to play those games and just go, but you got a PlayStation 2. I don't care. PlayStation 1 games.
I bought the RGB, like the component out for it, like the RGB one.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 1 games don't work on that output, so I had to get a little mini PS1 to play.
Yeah, if it doesn't work on if the one I got doesn't work with PlayStation 1 games, I'll just buy PlayStation 1. It's not really enough.
They're going quite cheap these days.
Yeah, I've seen some on Marketplace and some on Amazon for quite cheap. I was like, I'll buy that from you. How much do you want for it? 30 quid sold.
Deal.
So what are some of your favourite bands that you've got into very recently?
I haven't heard many new bands that I've super gotten into, really. I've mostly been going through the old back catalogue.
Oh, I do
listen to some of the old albums that I never used to listen to anymore. So I've been going back to Dimmu Borgir. I was never a big Dimmu Borgir fan, but I'm quite enjoying.
Kind of gone on and off sometimes, but then,
I really enjoyed.
Take two.
I enjoyed what's the album? In Sorted Diaboli. Really like that album.
Yep.
Not really enjoyed much post that.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that's kind of the general vibe of Dimmy War Gear anyway at the moment. And anything after that was a bit downhill. We have Sam.
Sam.
Right, again.
Can you hear you now?
Oh, he's got the little mute symbol on him.
Oh, for God's sake, I'm asked to unmute. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
you can hear you.
Fucking
Right.
hell. Hey!
Right, I'll introduce those to people. Well, we can hear Sam now.
I've been here literally the whole time.
He's
I've
been in the
waiting
whole
for this
time. We
meeting.
just couldn't hear him or see him.
I've been queuing up for the meeting since fucking 2:45, and I have had technical difficulties you would not believe.
Oh, yeah, well, technical difficulties. Hopefully I can sort this crap out when
Hang on.
if I ever do it professionally.
Yeah.
Someone says, do it professionally, we'll help you out. Cool. If
No, it's professional enough.
It is professional enough.
Yeah, it'll do.
Yeah, we're just asking, like, what got you into metal and your favourite bands of late. And
Yes.
Chris was just saying.
Yes, I have been in the room with no ability to speak. Trapped.
Well, you can speak now. We'll get to you.
Yeah. No, let Chris carry on, please. Don't let me interrupt.
And then we'll go full circle.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
look, I've also been listening back to older Inanna Thwack. As much as I love Inanna Thwack, I always find the latest albums always significantly better than all their previous ones. And it's really hard to go back to listen to the older albums because you sit there listening going, well, I could just listen to the latest Inanna Thwack and it's better. So I've been checking them out. And through that, there was a band that Inanna Thwack shared on their Spotify. I can't remember what they're called, so I'll have to look them up and send it to you guys because I think you probably enjoy it.
Yep.
They are basically Inanna Thwack. Really,
Not us, is it?
It might be. It might be like this.
No, so
it's your band. Wait. Oh damn.
Can but dream.
it's just they're basically Inanna Thwack, but without the heavy. I mean, the later Inanna albums are quite leaning on the industrial kind of synthy side of things. So they're more of a stripped back version of them. I can't remember what they're called. I remember their band name being pretty lame though, but the band themselves are fucking dope. So that's what I've been listening to.
Band are dope, name not so good.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, a lot of metal band names can be pretty cringe.
Yeah, there was one that I missed when I went and saw Coffins last year in London. They were called Binge Drinker.
I mean, that's pretty good. There's a fine line in metal band names between like, oh, that's a bit cringe, and yeah, that's kind of dumb if you think about it. But it's great, like Skeleton Witch. Like, it's a skeleton witch, but it's a great name. It works, you know.
It is, yeah.
Because it works for their style.
Don't think too hard about it.
It works.
I think metal in general is that line between cringy and dope as fuck. You know.
Yeah, there's a balance.
Just the music in general, really.
Like Spinal Tap said, there's a fine line between clever and stupid.
That's true.
Yeah.
And also that you can have an amp that goes up to 11.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they always have drummers that die, so be wary.
Yeah.
So nothing can kill Chris. He's invincible.
No.
Wow.
Chris is invincible.
Apart from the asthma, or
we've been trying for years.
Oh, it hasn't worked because he's still here.
No.
So, Dave, recent bands you've been into?
Oh, recent.
Apart from the one on your shirt.
Apart from they're
great though. Black Dahlia Murder are great.
Apart from Weezer and Flaming Lips as well, you can't say those.
Apart from Weezer and Flaming Lips, then I choose nothing. No,
I choose.
Guys, I found this really cool band. You might not have heard of them. They're called Weezer.
Remember, guys, it's his birthday today. We can torture him if you want.
Yeah, you can rip
not
him on my
nice.
birthday.
Well, not torture him, just
virtual birthday beats. I get it. It's fine. No, I've been
virtual beats.
Virtual birthday beats.
That sounds like techno. I don't know.
I've been really enjoying lately. Like a couple of releases from this year that I've been enjoying. Obviously, Embodiment's record. I think we all agree that.
Of course, we all agree
tight as heck.
Check it out,
Excellent
people.
record.
That is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Obviously, Dahlia's new one is a barn burner. That's great. Band I found a couple of days ago as well. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, like Serox or Seroch. It might be a soft C. But they're really good. It's just really blasty kind of cryptopsy worship kind of stuff. It's great.
Good to me.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And I've been on just going through a lot of my old records as well, sort of while we've been been holed up, so I've been listening to a lot of At the Gates and sort of old Mastodon, like kind of all the things I've got on LP.
Of course.
At home, and just kind of having a bit of a renewed appreciation for that, really.
Yep. Yeah, it's always a good appreciation for that.
That's Xerox. Listen to Xerox.
Xerox. Right. And to everyone else watching, listen to Xerox.
Yeah. SEROCS.
Cool. And Sam, recent bands you've been listening to?
What have I been listening to that's new lately?
New.
Like Dave said, the new Embodiment is monstrous.
Yeah, we all agree.
Everyone should check it out.
Yeah, I got the CD and the T-shirt, and
it's such a good fucking album. Like it's so good to see people. We know they're great, and they're going to do a great record, and then it comes out and it just takes you a whole new level.
It's like, it's going to be good. It's much better than good.
It's nuts. You expect them to be great, and then they blow you away. Really, really good record.
Exactly,
I'm still jamming Vitriol's first full length from last year.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'll ever stop listening to that. It's one of the heaviest things I've ever heard in my life. I've actually got my Spotify open just to see what I've been listening to because I
got Spotify. I've just been listening to playlists. I've been listening to Celtic Frost's last album, and
I've been listening to loads of funnily enough, that Chris should mention on the Thrax later stuff because I've been listening to loads of industrial lately.
There's nothing wrong with industrial because there's
I love it.
That follow very closely into the metal scene.
Yeah, there's a blend over. There's a lot of Ministry, a lot of Three Teeth are particularly one of my favourite bands.
Oh, definitely.
What else? I found an EP by a band called Flawless, FLORORLES, and that's interesting, kind of ambient industrial soundscapey stuff.
Don't think I know.
But what's metal? The Lurking Fear. They're very good. That's I think it's like what's his name from At the Gates, like a side project. It's like a kind of crusty D-beat thing that's all about Lovecraftian gods.
There's one band that Thomas Lindbergh was in. It was called The Crown, but I don't know if that's it.
Yes. I don't think it's the same one. I don't know.
No, it might be a different one. I've been looking at my Spotify since you just sent that. One of the last songs I recently played was From Wisdom to Hate by Gorguts.
Oh, I was going to mention Gorguts, actually. Coloured Sands is a heavy rotation album.
Yeah, I got to see them at the Croft in 2012 at the Bloodstock.
Oh my goodness.
And Separation was one of the bands that's supporting them.
Oh, man.
Talking
about excellent bands from the area. Separation.
Talking to the vocalist, Separation, Body Harvest, Embodiment, of course.
Embodiment, Blaspheme,
definitely.
Yes, Holocaustum.
Deus Holocaustum, yeah.
I had on the second
channel before, I believe.
Crit Worm, who's like undergang from Denmark, like that very dirty sounding, evil sounding death metal, sort of.
But also the latest Veil of Nath and the latest Earth Rot are both excellent. Put them in your ears.
I know, yeah. I've been listening to Pungent Stench.
Ooh.
Because I've heard, there's Austrian death metal. They've been going since like the late 80s or like around that. And I got like their first 3 albums. And the other one I got is like their first recording, so it's all their demos.
Yeah.
And some of the, I think like 3 or 4, maybe like 5 of the tracks are from a split they did with an Austrian band called Disharmonic Orchestra.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're really good as well. I've been listening to a bunch of Stench and heard Hell Ripper from Scotland, which is like black thrash, speed metal, just black thrash.
Always a good band.
Yeah, and Dawn Raid, who's a
great band. Dawn Raid.
Anti-fascist black metal, which is great because they're not, because we don't like fascism or racism here.
No, we do not.
No,
it's good to see someone actively taking the space back where so much of black metal, not to say that anyone's a Nazi, but so much of black metal kind of like glosses over it a lot.
Yeah, that's another thing as well.
They go, maybe they're fascist. I don't.
Maybe not. Who knows?
No,
you don't know until you look at maybe 1 or 2 members who are a bit dodgy. But there you go.
Yes,
I don't want to say dodgy. That sounds different. But yeah, dodgy. Oh, you're a bit mental.
Dodgy is someone who hangs around the bus stop breathing heavily, like not Nazis. Like that's a whole other thing.
So be dodgy, you hang around the bus stop, going like or be like Lee Evans, where he saying that waiting at the bus stop should be an Olympic sport because we just moan all the time.
Yeah.
you know. But there you go. Well, of course, I am wearing one of the bands you supported.
That's Demonic Resurrection.
Yeah.
I very nearly put that T-shirt on today. So.
Right, we would have been matching. So what's it? Well, I know Dave's wearing the Black Dahlia Murder. Chris is not wearing a band shirt, but it's black. So
this is the stuff I use in practice drums. Because
he's wearing his drum gear, so that's all good.
Yeah. Once I finish this phone call, I'll be getting on the kit and doing a couple of hours of practice.
He has got up. He has practiced. He will return to practice. He does nothing but.
Yeah.
He's basically a monk, I think.
Sam is wearing.
Sam has got Revocation.
Oh, nice one.
From their Bristol tour last year?
Last year or 2 years?
Yeah, before
like
they did that Tech Trek tour with Archspire and...
it was Archspire.
Revocation, Archspire.
Rivers of Nile.
Rivers of Nile, that's it, yeah.
It's
And
like
there was
2
someone
years
else.
ago.
There was someone else. Who was it?
But yeah, I like Revocation stuff because
Love
at
Revocation.
one point the vocalist mentioned this song is about H.P. Lovecraft stuff. And yes.
Yeah, I think I heard Revocation. I think I heard... what's the one? Dismantle the Dictator. Years and years and years and years ago. And it just blew me away. Just absolutely, like you hear that riff, and it's like that's not a thing that you can do with a guitar, right? And they just
not really, no.
They're just nuts. And then Chaos Reforms came out, and I just had that record on for about 2 months straight. It's just everything on it. It's a wall-to-wall banger.
Yeah, happens.
And it's really nice to see Revocation do a great job of doing a kind of. It's easy to think with technical death metal that it's all just people playing Beethoven really fast on like super overproduced guitars. But Revocation, one of those bands that really do something interesting with a kind of technical approach to it. They don't look at themselves as a tech band. I think they they write the songs, and then it just turns out that they're really complicated.
Yeah, it's just like oh god.
Yeah, it's nuts, but it's still very musical. It's it doesn't just turn into a sweep fest and
one of my definitely.
Not all just like
I want to see him again.
I don't want to throw shade at brain drill.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, overly technical band and Cytotoxin from Germany.
And his Cytotoxin are fucking amazing.
It's
not a sweet fest, but I love it.
They do it well though, and kind of the slamminess kind of balances it out.
They have the slam, brutal, technical.
There's a good dynamic.
There you go.
It's just having an ear for songwriting, I think.
Yeah.
Some bands, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to I'm not trying to start beef in the scene because I don't really know anyone like it. But it's like a lot of kind of low-level technical death metal. It's very easy where people just go, I will sweep and I will write technical stuff and I'll come up with a weird chord phrasing. And they don't think about writing a song sometimes.
No.
Like sometimes you'll hear a technical death metal band, you'll be like, okay, I like technical death metal. And there was a really good interview I read a while back, not to kind of harp on Vitriol, but there was a really good interview I read with Kyle Rasmussen, who was the guitarist from the main guitarist from Vitriol, was the only guitarist for their first EP. And he made the point, because what they're trying to do with technical death metal is take it back to that 90s thing where you had like Hate Eternal and Immolation and people doing that kind of dissonant vibe on it.
Yeah.
And he pointed out that like Necrophagist came out with Epitaph.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that just completely changed the game. And ever since then, everyone's just trying to do Epitaph. And I think he's kind of right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are trying
93, 94, you had like Hate Eternal, you had Immolation, you had all these kind of crazy technical bands doing their own kind of spin. And then Epitaph drops. And don't get me wrong, like Epitaph is an insanely good record. But everyone's just kind of doing Epitaph again.
Yeah.
Like, it's less so now, but for a good like kind of 10, 15 years, technical death metal was...
A lot of people...
Hey man, I like Necrophagist, do you?
I like... Well, we all like Necrophagist and...
Everyone loves Necrophagist.
I got the only two albums they ever released, so yeah. They haven't got any other albums.
No, it used to be, I remember you used to be able to Google like Necrophagist third album 2.0 and you got it 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016.
I just think they stopped. I think they just...
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I think Mohammed Sweetness had cerebral palsy.
Oh.
Something crazy, isn't it?
Oh, that's
we'll just fed up.
Well. There's like you mentioned, like technical death metal bands copying Necrophagist. Well, there's a lot of people with the old school death metal things like, oh, you got Morbid Angel. Let's try and be like Morbid Angel, and then there's like 10 other bands doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's been a huge kind of uptick, especially in the last couple of years, on like the Bandcamp scene. excuse me, of people like that old school death metal sound with like the big cavernous reverb and the kind of shrieky vocals and the old like slightly sloppy, slow kind of blast kind of vibe. You know, like your Gate Creepers and such have really come back in a way.
Yeah, Gate Creeper,
like in a big way. And there are some bands that are doing it really excellent. I think it's the thing you get with anyone. You know, something gets big, and 3 or 4 bands will do it really, really well, and 500 bands will half-ass it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all
is the latest one, I think, isn't it?
Old school death metal is the latest trick. You can tell because all the t-shirt, like you don't get black t-shirts anymore, you get white long sleeves.
I think it's all cyclical, you know, and that I think the old school death metal revival is kind of like a reaction to gent and a lot of the tech metal and that kind of really overproduced sound. Yeah. And it's kind of gone to the other extreme now with people going like, no, I want to make music as raw as possible.
Yeah.
Like we recorded it in a sewer with a tape machine kind of.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it's from a drumming perspective as well, is kind of a lot of people are kind of fighting back against the huge amount of people using overly triggered drums. Everything's pre-programmed.
Yeah. That just gets annoying when they just trigger like the drum.
They're taking your jobs, Chris. They're
taking your job, Chris.
These computers.
They're taking your job, Chris, and there's these drum machines.
These damn computers coming into my drumming space.
How dare they do this to me? I need to drum. So
the computer just took your job, baby.
I think it's like there is a valid point to be made about it though, because like for a while, like we've referred to it internally as kind of like the unique leader sound.
Yeah.
Like there was a point where you get like, here's the thing on unique leader records, and the kicks have no bass in them.
Yeah.
The guitars are just the overproduced sound, and it's exhausting to listen to because there's no dynamic push and pull to it. There's no kind of softness to it. Everything's just up at the bleeding edge of it, and I can see it like as an artistic statement of something you want to choose to do with a record, but it just kind of became a bit cookie cutter that everyone just produced the crap out of.
Yeah, because
you know,
because I watched an interview with Boltford. This was back in '93 when they had Grave Invader on tour.
58 when it done.
Yeah, done. And Gavin, who was one of the guitarists, he was on about technical death metal bands back in the '90s, and he was saying there's a lot of these. He said techno death metal, but death metal.
That sounds great. I'm into that. Throw me in catalogue.
It was like there's all these techno death. I'm just quoting what I'm trying to quote as best as what he said. So there's all these techno death metal bands bringing out playing great techno metal, bringing out great records, and when they play live, they're shit because they can't reproduce it.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to be able to reproduce what you do in the live space.
That's why they always went the not simpler approach, just their approach where they can reproduce it live.
I mean, if you're crazy good and you can do it live, then go ahead, do it live. But I think, like more than any other genre, I'd say probably in my experience anyway, metal really lives and dies on the live experience.
Absolutely.
Like if you can make the best record in the whole world, but if you can't do it live, you're not ever really going to scale those kind of heights. You know, if you turn up and you put on a crap live show, and especially, you know, things are different in the last 5 years, the way the internet works now and the way that you can just make a record and just put it out there. And if you've got a great record, you can pick up a load of hype before you've even touched the stage. Go back to like when we kind of started, you know.
Yeah.
And when all of us kind of started our careers in bands, basically you started a band and you went out and you played live, and if you sucked, you weren't going to get far.
No, because my first band didn't go really anywhere, and that was more mixture of Ramones and Metallica. My first band.
Everyone's first band's got to suck, you know. Everyone's first band's got to be
fucking shit. Well,
you've got to be an lasted for like band to realise what you don't want to do.
Yeah, that band lasted like a year, 2009 to 2010. And I was the bassist, and I didn't know how to play bass back then. I learned just by playing in that band.
Yeah.
And I used to play with a pick, but now I've kind of alternated with a pick to just...
It's all about... People shit on having a pick, but it's what works for you.
Well, it works for you, but like for certain... If I'm doing a Doom project, and it's like heavy funeral Doom stuff, so I tried doing it traditionally, but you can't hear when I pluck the bass string. So I just used the pick, and now you can hear it.
Yeah, job done.
No, it's all...
I just alternate between the two.
I mean, I used to like sort of all our recordings that we've done has all been playing with a bass pick, but I have found myself favouring going to fingers recently.
Yeah,
and that's not,
again, it's what works for you.
Yeah, it's just kind of achieving that different kind of tone, that different kind of sound, really. And obviously, as I have become a bit more proficient of a finger player, I find myself kind of preferring that tone.
Yeah.
to the pick, especially in like a live environment. Like recorded, I think I'd still probably
use a pick.
Go back and use a pick because there's that punchiness, there's that definition, but there's just something about the tone of finger bass that's nice, especially live.
It's horses for courses, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the old adage that there's no such thing as the wrong tone or the wrong sound or the wrong thing. It's just the wrong application. You know, you've got to choose what sound you want to make and make the sound.
Because my folk metal band hopefully will be releasing an EP, and I've been using using my fingers like traditional playing a bit.
Yeah, it's all about what works for you.
It suits it. Because I think it would suit it better if I did it that way in that band. Because I was using a pick for a while, but I thought, no, I'll just go to that and see if I can do it better.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resources out there for people to kind of try and learn stuff, and I think sometimes people get snooty about technique.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the day, get to the point where you're happy that you can play what you want to write what you want to play, and make the music you want to make. And if someone turns up and goes, "Hey, you didn't use a pick, you didn't use your fingers," then tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
Bugger off.
You know,
I think
at the end of the day, music is a creative endeavor, and if you not to say, oh, you know, we don't care about our fans, fuck our fans, but at the end of the day, you've got to make music that makes you happy, and if someone's going to get their arse out about it, then they're not your audience.
They're not, yeah, no. They're like, oh, I don't like it, it's crap or shit or what the hell. I'm like,
yeah, fuck them.
Well, I'm not making it for you.
Yeah.
I'm making it for those
I know loads of people that don't like the stuff we do with Ascaris, I'm not making it for them.
Right.
So,
well, lucky for you, there's one fan here.
You.
And of course, Mr. Nick Saxton. We have to mention him.
Yep, super fan Nick Saxton.
Who turned 30 you turned 30 yesterday.
He did. Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday to Nick. I'll just send it to him and be like, "Why are you saying it? Don't remind me." We're giving him a shout out because he's got a tattoo of your logo.
He has, yes, he has. That was
None
really
of us even have a tattoo of our logo, so that tells you.
I think he's the first one, and it might just go on from there.
Someone's getting a phone call. Sorry.
It's all right.
This isn't some phone call.
Right, sounds good. So
let's listen closely.
Let's listen to what he has to say.
Could be.
He said we suck.
Always bad mouth.
No one there, apparently.
No one there.
But you do suck.
Oh, that's it. This chat is over. Piss off.
Roasted.
Epic Ownage 2K20.
Where's my hat?
So, where did the band name Ascaris come from? Who came up with the name, and how did you all meet?
Oh, that's two questions, really. I mean, Chris came up with the name.
Chris came up with the name. That was
nice one.
Yeah. So I was previously in the band called Caiaphas. After we split up, I just started writing some solo material.
Okay.
And I've got my own rehearsal / recording studio that I was doing it in. I went outside. Sam happened to be walking past on his way home from work or something silly, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm working on my own stuff. Sam came upstairs to have a listen. He was like, that's dope as shit. I'm working on some stuff too. Let's not do two solo things. Let's do one not solo thing. And that was the start of it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we've all known each other through the scene for a long time. Like, we knew Chris. Like, me and Dave used to be in a proggy thrash band together years and years and years and years ago. Band called Cold Fury that probably no one has heard of or remembers.
Nope.
But we had some
unless you live in Gloucester. If you live in Gloucester,
the Gloucester.
I didn't live in Gloucester.
The true Gloucester OGs know what's up. But,
I've been living in Bristol all my life, so there you go.
That's fair. You've got a better metal scene, so. But yeah, so Dave and I got started in that band. Met Dave on the coach to VAC in 2008.
It was, yes.
Haven't been
in 2008.
That's when we met. It was a good year. And yeah, so Dave and I played in that band for a while. That band fell apart. Other things happened in the interim. And then, obviously Chris was in Caiaphas. Caiaphas kind of fell apart. I was walking past Chris's studio and he said, let's hang out, let's catch up. We had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chris was working on some kind of solo death metal, crunchy stuff. I was working on some weird kind of prog thrashy stuff. Then we kind of jammed each other's stuff, and basically the kind of conversation, if I remember correctly, was that I was really into what Chris was writing and Chris wasn't so much into what I was writing, so we just went with that. It's,
oh no.
It's also for courses. People like different things, Chris is not a thrash guy.
No.
But yeah.
I like.
And then that was that. So we got jamming. We wrote some stuff, and then we thought, well, let's put a band together. And Dave was the first person we called.
Yeah. In the meantime, I was also working on solo stuff. There's a short-lived melodeath band called Knurgeyser and a weird grind band called Arsehole Eliminator.
Both of which I was in, if memory serves. I contributed nothing.
There were many rotating lineups, but we never actually got to the stage of doing a gig. Although Arsehole Eliminator was just me and Sean, who used to be in Agrona. So we might resurrect that now that he's left Agrona. That could be fun to bring back.
Sean actually did audition as a vocalist for Ascaris. Actually.
He did, yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Way back in the first days, because neither myself, I think Dave's got more of a vocal background, but I never used to. I started out as a guitarist. I've just always been a guitarist. My first ever show, the first time I ever did vocals on stage was actually, first time I properly did vocals for a song was after I used to be in a metalcore band called Create Chaos, and we played a show with Caiaphas, Chris's old band, and I was doing backing vocals somehow. I just kind of fell into it. And their singer came up and went, dude, you've got to come and do guest vocals with us. And I was like, what? I'm a guitarist. What? Why?
I don't do vocals.
He was like, no, come and do some. So yeah, so then I did a guest spot, split a Nile track at a Caiaphas show.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever done vocals, but I didn't think of myself as a vocalist. So we got the kind of team assembled, me and Chris and Dave in the room, and we went, well, who's going to sing on it? And yeah.
There you go.
We got Sean in, we gave him a try, but the main thing was that Sean lives out in the valleys and it was not feasible for a rehearsal schedule.
Where you've got Gloucester, and then South Wales.
It's a long way to go.
It was tricky.
Yeah, and as well, it wasn't like he was in Cardiff, he was in Wales. He wasn't like, you don't get a train every other hour. You get a train to this, and then a train to there, and then a train to there, and then a bus, and then you're halfway there. So we just kind of, Dave and I just went, well, let's just do it until we kind of find someone, and then it just stuck, really.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, you mean we're still not looking for someone?
Are we not? I'm open. Audition tapes to ascarisofficial@gmail.com.
Yeah, I was doing the podcast with Phil Wadey, is Phil's Breakfast Metal, and we mentioned you guys.
Yes, we heard that.
Your album that came out, which is brilliant. I love it.
Thank you.
Because he was saying, "Oh, these are a lot of the bands we didn't know about because he didn't actually know you guys were until he saw you at here." I was like, I'm very surprised. I thought he would have known, but then not everyone knows every single band from
not everyone.
It's impossible to know every band.
There are so many bands as well, especially in the Southwest. There's a lot. So
yeah, it's and unless you're like actively involved in that scene, I can imagine like there's a punter as well. How are you supposed to know the local bands unless you're like going to these shows or like hanging out with the people or knowing what's going on?
Yeah, because you won't know until you've asked, like, "Oh, you in a band?" "Oh, I used to be in a band. I used to be in this band. Now I'm in this band. Now I just got a bloody message from someone. Piss off." It's on Facebook. Yeah, like I was saying, we were talking about the album, and then obviously our favourite songs, and then Phil just come out saying that like Chris the drummer is a fucking beast.
He is.
Which yes, we can agree. We are that you are, Chris. You are a beast, live and also on record.
It's the thing that Dave and I grouse about the most, because people come up to us after the show and go, "Oh, your drummer's awesome," and no one ever talks about us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
cool. I was there too. That's fine.
I also was in the band. No, okay.
Yeah, they'll just go up to Chris like, "Oh my god, you're such a beast." Yeah, you guys were okay.
He's nuts though. He is like, we're pretty good, but Chris is doing some next level shit,
Oh, bless you.
He does pretty much nothing but rehearse, and it shows.
Pretty much. And
it's I think it's a huge part of going back to what we were saying about bands having to be good live, and you really have to be able to pull it off in a live environment. And again, I'm not trying to talk smack about anyone or talk shit or start any beef.
No.
But you do see bands, and like you listen to them on a record and you get like a nice even blast, and then you go and see a band live and you get like a and it doesn't kind of have that consistency. And I think Chris really puts the work in to make sure that every single time he hits the drum kit, it's as hard as the first, and it shows. You go out and you watch it, and Chris just absolutely assaults the kit, and people sit up and take notes.
Yeah, it does definitely.
He just lives on 127 velocity, just all the time. That's it.
He lives and breathes drums.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It's a dedication to his craft that I admire and envy because I keep not being able to live up to it myself.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that with my instruments. Just live up to it. Because like when I started in my first band, Half Past Dead, that's what we were called.
Nice.
But we had a different name, and I'm trying to remember what we were called first, because the first gig we did was at Guitar's house, and it was like for like a relative's birthday or something, or barbecue. And our backdrop was on just a green blanket, and our band name just painted on.
Thing is, you've got to start somewhere. You got to,
and then we changed
that.
We went from that name to Half Past Dead, and then we were that until we split up.
It's a good name.
But we were more in the case of Metallica meets the Ramones.
Nice.
And we covered Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones a couple times.
Oh man, my first band covered Blitzkrieg Bop as well. That's one of the standards, isn't it? That's
like,
you got to do it. You got to do it. It's a modern classic.
Man, I've been playing guitar for like 5 years before I even heard Blitzkrieg Bob.
Get you.
I was like, who is this Blitzkrieg Bob?
who is this? Oh, is
this Bob? Where does he krieg blitzes?
What
Blitzkrieg Robert.
Blitzkrieg Robert.
I'm like, Bob.
Is that like the Talking Heads cover?
Yeah.
Bob, what do you blitz?
Blitzkrieg Robert.
What do you blitzkrieg?
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Oh dear.
And whose idea is it to wear bloody suits when you play live? Because guys, if you don't know these guys, when they play live, they wear like full like suits with waistcoats, shirts, nicely smart trousers and shoes and stuff. And it's like, okay.
I don't remember whose idea that was.
I think I'm going to hold my hand up and say I think this may have been my fault. I think.
At last, the mystery is solved.
Yeah, I do remember the idea was like it's a bit cliche now, but it was 2012 at the time. I think our idea was for one of our first gigs. I thought, it would be good if we all just looked quite neutral. Like there's enough bands who have got like the combat shorts and the band's t-shirt look kind of going on, and I seem to remember suggesting, what if we had a look that was quite bland, like sort of all black, but not all black t-shirts, like kind of like an emo band or a hardcore band or something, but just like plain black collared shirts, like something quite neutral. And then over time, like almost organically, that seemed to evolve from plain black shirts sort of buttoned up to, well, go on then, we'll add a tie to it. And then as kind of the ethos and the aesthetic of the band kind of developed with it, it kind of became more and more fancy, like as it went on. And now it's like the full like shirt, waistcoat, tie. Like Chris will wear a full 3-piece suit on stage with a jacket and everything. Like I don't know how he does it. I couldn't wear a jacket and play.
That's why most of his stuff's drenched by the end of it.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we all are, to be fair.
We all are, but it's him more than everything because he's buying the hits.
He's working the hardest.
He's working the hardest.
We just got to play guitars and talk to people, but he's actually
you guys
exercise.
I just like how you always try to get like the crowd to like bang your heads, show me a pit.
You've got to do it, man. For now, I become death that destroys lands.
There's always that night where people get everyone moshing, or they get like a couple of people moshing, or no one's moshing.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know how an audience is going to react on any given day, But you can't go into it just kind of thinking, well, we're going to turn up and we're going to try, and if everybody doesn't like it, then we're just going to retreat into the corner.
Yeah.
The fuck is that? I mean, we've all been on the scene a long time. We've all been to a lot of shows. All of us in this room. And you see a lot of, you can't, everyone's seen a band where they've turned up and they've had great material, like really good songs, but they stand there and they just kind of look at their hands and they nod a bit, and they, maybe they're nervous, maybe they didn't sleep well last night.
I have noticed.
They're just kind of a bit introverted, and there's like, you want to get into it, but there's no energy in the room to latch onto. And there's nothing worse to me is like the idea of a person in a band than to play some music that people really love and to have people walk away from there going, that would have been like, I love the songs, but what was that like?
It's
Because I've seen loads of those bands, and I don't remember any of their names.
No.
Yeah.
When you see a band like that and they're not animated and they don't look as if they're feeling it, then you feel awkward trying to get into it and enjoy it.
Yeah, you feel like you're being the extra guy who's too fast.
Yeah, I've gone to shows.
I think likewise, if a band's there like giving it their all, then you feel awkward standing there doing nothing. Like it almost encourages you to get.
Not as often as they should, but yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like a two-way. It's definitely a
two-way
conversation between the stage and the audience.
Yeah, because I did my first gig with Herbicidal last year at the Griffin. Well, technically we did two. One was at we all know Miss Millie Crampton from we all know Millie from BTK.
Yeah.
It was her 30th last year, and we basically
everybody's 30. We're all old now.
Well, I'm 30 next year, so there you go. And we were playing. Well, basically, I was just doing vocals with like a old lineup of Warrior Pope, but then they had a band called Herbicidal, which they've been on for like 6 years. And I was like,
oh, nice.
It's like, oh, let's bring Jake in. He's like, all right. And then did rehearsals, did the gig at the Griffin, which, of course, I was trying to be like, come on, people, bang your heads. But I was like, well, we're kind of doomy in a way, so I got to kind of be like, barking.
Yeah, that's a hard vibe.
I was wearing like this funky sort of 70s shirt. So how am I supposed to look Doc Anonymous with that on?
Yeah,
tambourines, man.
It's tricky to kind of know how to pitch your vibe for a show. I mean, that's one of the things that's quite fortunate about, because what we play, the suits make it a tricky aesthetic to get the wording right sometimes, maybe. But for the music we play, I don't have to worry about, like, is now the right time to yell, come on, you cowards, at people? Because it's never the wrong time to yell, why the fuck aren't you moshing?
Times where you go,
it's constant circle pit music. You just go, you are stood still. No, stop it at people. And
no, you can't do that. If there's like their first time watching a band, and you're like maybe like a couple of songs on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay, got to listen to a little bit more. And then next time they come to a show, they're like, I'm really into this. It's like, sweet.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone wants to be a mosh pit warrior and crush posers 24/7. Everyone enjoys things in their own way.
Crush the poser. Oh god.
Yeah, but like I've gone and seen bands. Like, I mean, I've seen Meshuggah like 5 or 6 times now, and the last time I think I went to see them, I was like, you know what? I absolutely love Meshuggah, but this time I'm not gonna jump straight to it. I'm just gonna kind of hang back and just watch what they do.
That's what.
But if they just stood there and gone, well, that guy's not headbanging, so we're just kind of gonna phone it in, then that would suck. And also, just because I'm not running in a circle, doesn't mean I don't want that energy from a live performance.
No. Well,
just because I'm not moshing doesn't mean you shouldn't be.
No, I saw Meshuggah at the O2 like 3 years ago. Me and my mate were just up by the bar where the stage is. We just headbanged there for a bit, and then when it got to like Demiurge or whatever, whichever song it was next, we just went into the pit. So we waited a bit, and after because they had their new album out at that point. Was it the? I'm gonna get
Violent Sleeper
Reason. I was gonna say it, and then people were like, no, you got it wrong. No, that is right. That is the right album, and that's just because if you just someone standing, it's like, oh, okay, you're not enjoying the band, okay,
it
means I can't. And speaking of you guys wearing suits, there's a band from the Faroe Islands called Hamford, and they wear suits live. And
there's a lot of bands that wear suits, but we always get Akakoka.
They wear suits.
Yeah, there's like you've got Akakoka, you've got Flesh God Apocalypse, you've got Hamford, you've got Old Corpse Road from like the UK, awesome black metal band. There's so many, a lot of bands do it. But the number of gigs we had when we were coming up, where people would be like, "Oh look, Akakoka," I'm like, we don't even sound like them, dude.
Yeah, we're not. We don't.
Have you listened to Words That Go Unspoken, Deeds That Go Undone? It is not this. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, was it Metal Hammer?
Comparisons and heckling, but that is lazy.
Oh, the Metal Hammer review.
Yeah. I got Akakoka, so I didn't bother listening to them. Like, yeah, fuck off. The Metal Hammer, I think it was. Could have been Terrorizer, actually.
I think about the only Metal Hammer one I remember is when we played with Valenfire, and they rated us pretty good, if memory serves.
Maybe it could have been Terrorizer then, when the review was they were too much like Akakoka. I couldn't do anything with the review.
We sound nothing like Akakoka.
Don't get me wrong, I love Akakoka. Nothing like them.
Where's Terrorizer now?
Well, I'm not.
Oh, shots fired.
The band, they're still going, but the magazine.
Dave's out here with the cannons down.
For any of the younger metal fans, you don't know what Terrorizer is. It used to be a magazine.
Yeah.
Well, used to be,
Yeah.
and with a lot of metal reviews and had articles. And stuff. And of course, there's Metal Hammer, and I don't know if there's any more magazines now.
No, print media is unfortunate. Is Zero Tolerance still going? Is that
Zero
still
Tolerance is still in print. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
But there you go. But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say something about Accock, I can't remember. But yeah, they're a great band, and it's like it's just a lazy comparison. But people will draw the comparisons they want. Well, a funny anecdotal story. Actually, the first time we were all in a room before we all met each other was at an Accock show. So with that what you will.
It was meant to be. I remember that show. That
was a great show,
man.
Cephalic Carnage, Accock, Ted Mall, and
Cephalic Carnage.
Local openers.
Cephalic Carnage, Ted Moore. Yeah, I can't remember who opened.
And
it's a good show.
I want to say Burning Skies. Is that right?
Yeah. I don't know. Could have been.
Bernard Skies.
Bernard Sykes, the poet.
It was one of the first gigs I went to at the O2 in Bristol, actually. It was Lamb of God, and they had support from Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, yeah.
Unearth. And Dimmu Borgir.
In that order?
Strange lineup.
That was 2009.
That's an incredible.
That's a weird lineup.
That is a weird lineup.
Very strange.
Five Finger Death Punch, you're not remotely like.
Anyway, I mean, it's good that that's like. It's good that they weren't headlining it, at least, I guess. Although if they were headlining it, you could have just left after Lamb of God.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unearth for like old school metalcore sort.
Yeah, Unearth are good.
And
Dividers was
Dimmu Borgir, like a mix of black metal, but got that symphonic sound.
We all know Dimmu Borgir.
No, yeah. And then Lamb of God right after.
That's mental. So you've got like almost like just after like Sacrament era Lamb of God, Abrahadabra era Dimmu, an early Five Finger Death Punch. That seems insane.
It's weird to me to see Five Finger Death Punch like not headlining but still above Unearth. Like that makes the timeline very strange to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if Five Finger Death Punch weren't headlining, they should have been opening, right?
They were the opening band, actually. Five Finger.
Oh, there you go.
They were the opening band.
Excellent. Show up late.
That's one of those that's one of those bragging rights shows, isn't it? Where you can say, "Oh, I saw so and so when they were opening."
I was just like, "Oh, this is okay. This is okay."
There's not much bragging rights to be had with Five Finger Death Punch. To be
no, but
I knew they sucked before everyone else.
I knew they sucked.
They do, though. They suck, and their opinions are
so
trash.
bad. Yeah, so bad.
I hated them before it was cool.
I mean, they've got. I think I heard like one track. I can't remember what it was, but they had like one track, and I was like, "Well, that's kind of okay and cool." But so much of their stuff is wanky. Yeah, so much of it is like, respect the troops and the cops, or I'll fight you because I'm mad at my dad. It's like,
This is why I listen to a lot of death metal, because there's none of that shit.
I mean, there is, but it's coded better.
Not too much.
The thing is, Jake, if you put Five Finger Death Punch in the tags of this video, Zoltan Bathory will find it. And
he'll come and bully us.
Yeah, they're not being tagged in this video.
Didn't you get banned off his Facebook, Dave?
Yes, me and Chris got banned off Zoltan Bathory's Facebook.
Because he bullied children and you called him out for it.
He was bullying children and being a dick. And I told him, stop bullying children, you dick.
He didn't like that one bit.
He did not like that one bit.
Obviously, the tags for this video will be Ascaris, and that'll probably be about it.
Just all cap, metal shade. Ascaris calls Zoltan Bathory a dick.
He is a dick. Fuck him.
That's search end. That's SEO.
I'd say I'll fight him, but he's like a proper kung fu master, and he'll just kick my ass.
Oh,
yeah.
In
America, it's fine.
Because your music's really I can say now your music's a lot better than that. I can tell you.
Well, very kind of you. Thank you.
I'm not just saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that because I'm your mate. I'm saying that because I genuinely think your music's a lot better than that.
Thank you.
And you're a great band, and I can say for certain you guys are going to go further.
I hope so.
Well, hopefully.
That's the idea.
And because all people, I kept calling you guys black in death metal. Is that fair to say? Or not really.
It's
got that sound.
We used to when we started out, we went, we're going to be kind of, that was the overarching idea, I think, was kind of black and death metal.
Because you covered
do death metal, put some of the kind of, because we all listen to a wide range of stuff, but we all listen to a lot of kind of black and death metal. Like you mentioned, Behemoth.
But you covered
Evangelion is a huge touchstone for us as musicians.
Yeah.
Kind of all of that kind of like that 2000s, 2010 era Behemoth, like, Demigod, Apostasy, Evangelion are like huge influences, and Anthrax a big influence. Like there's loads, there's too much to count. But we started off as like, well, we're going to be a black and death metal band, but we never really. We're conscious of like a vibe, but we never go, well, we can't do that, that's too tech, or we can't do that, that's too this. So because if you want to write a song, if it wants to go a certain way, don't fight it. It could be really good. Yeah. Write a good song. And so we've got a lot of technical death metal references. We've had people compare us like Napalm Death and Grindcore. We've had a lot, which is a good way to be, I think, as a band.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, good.
We just call ourselves extreme metal because we can't be fucked with anything else, basically.
Yeah, it's one word. Hashtag's easier.
Yeah, because like the first time I saw you guys, you covered of Fire and Void. And I was like, wow, this is a great cover.
We stopped doing that because I have to retune my guitar and I can't be asked.
And then you covered Blinded by Fear by At the Gates.
Yep.
That's fun. That's a fun one to try out.
That's really good fun, except Chris plays it like 20 BPM faster than At the Gates do.
Yeah. And I was still meaning to come on stage and do the vocals. Me or Nick.
Yeah, do it.
I think Nick might have done it once, maybe.
Nick might have already done it. But I haven't done it yet. But when you do it again, then I'll just like take the microphone.
Yeah, we'll have to sort some out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fuck it. It'll be good fun.
Tell you what, this Griffin show in March, we'll do it.
Do it.
Heard it here first.
Do it.
Yeah, man. Why not?
So yeah. So your influences are all wide range. You got Behemoth, At the Gates.
Yeah, I mean we
looking at the Black Dahlia murder. I don't know if that's influence.
We've all got a lot of overlap, but we've also all got a lot of difference in our kind of musical tastes.
Obviously,
I think because it's really interesting as well. We've done it occasionally. We'll be chatting in the practice studio. Between us, we've listened to pretty much all the death metal, but the overlap is surprisingly slim.
Yeah,
between like what we'll kind of, at least what our kind of go-to records are for kind of like death metal, black metal. What are kind of like, if I get up and I'm like, I'm going to put a black metal record on, I will pick a completely different record to Chris or Dave. Yeah, pretty much, because I will usually pick a Versifera's Epic Parallax every single time because it's the best black metal record and no one else listens to it or agrees.
Yeah, because I might like with my folk metal band, because my mate Alex is the vocalist. He likes a lot of symphonic metal, like Epica and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I do like those bands, but for our band, I listen to more death metal bands, like melodic death metal bands, like Amon Amarth, what you can call them Viking melodic death metal, because
they're a melodeath band with a really good
death band, but people call them Viking metal.
Well, that's good marketing for you.
It's good marketing. Well, didn't say about Vikings. Yeah, call them Viking.
I mean, they're a great band. I'm not trying to shit on them on Amarth.
On these chats, we praise Amon Amarth.
Yeah, this is the Amon Amarth appreciation zone.
Appreciation zone, and all the other bands that we just mentioned as well.
It's a safe space for Vikings.
For Vikings, and I'm not wearing my Mjolnir. Damn it. You supported a lot of bands as well, obviously. These guys.
We've been very lucky with some of
some of your favourites.
For me, my highlight's got to be opening for Cryptopsy.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah,
Chris being a Cryptopsy fan as well.
I mean, we're all Cryptopsy fans.
We're all Cryptopsy fans. But he's the biggest fan out of the lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So Chris,
Flo like my favourite drummer of all time, no doubt. It was a complete amazing pleasure to open for them. It was a huge honour to get to meet Flo Monnier.
Yep.
It's highlight of my life for me, really, to be honest.
That's your highlight, and
we're lucky that show opened late, really.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was a great show.
I think
it ran late, and then because it ran late and the doors opened late, the headliners had time to get there, so Cryptopsy actually watched us. It's good.
Yeah, it was dope.
I think my personal favourite opening slot we've ever done. It was just such a special show for us, really. I think it was an Anal in Gloucester.
Yeah,
that was just such a perfect storm.
Oh, wasn't that one? No. Was that a Halloween gig?
No, it was around Halloween. It was the day before Halloween.
Well, because Nick went to a show that Alan Affleck played. I think he was in Gloucester or somewhere, and he got on stage and did a bit of screaming.
No, it might have actually been on Halloween, because in Gloucester there was, for a while, I'll get through this quickly, there was a lot of the local bands used to get together and do a set of covers every sort of Saturday closest to Halloween.
Yeah.
And for a very small period, this old theatre in Gloucester was open, and some friends of ours were trying to get it going as a gig venue, like trying to put on some shows there. And the two gigs happened night after night. I think the Anal Nathrak gig was on the Friday, and then the Halloween gig with all the covers was on the Saturday. But I think that Friday may have actually been the 31st.
Yeah, because if it was 2014, Damnation was the day after.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was some dude kept crowd surfing during the Thrax set, and for some reason, Dave had he assumed or mistaken him for the drummer from Amputated.
Okay.
And they were both playing Amputated. They were both playing Damnation the next day, and I remember Dave just on stage being like, I can't remember his. I know the guy as well, the drummer from Amputated. I've forgotten his name. I'm really sorry, dude. He was like, you try any of that shit tomorrow at Damnation, we'll fucking fight you. And he's just stood next to me in the crowd like, what have I done? So
done.
So yeah, because some other random dude that maybe tangentially looked a bit like him just kept coming up and crowd surfing him, and you could see Dave being like, all right, man, stop it now.
But that whole show was just such a unique experience to play in this vast beat up old theatre with paint peeling off the walls and carpet rolling up and
a freezing backstage,
freezing cold backstage. It just looked like something out of a Hammer horror film or something like that.
Love Hammer horror.
Packed up with people watching Anal Nathrak and Amputated and Necrosis and us, and it was bizarre. People in Gloucester still talk about that gig 6 years later.
Yeah,
well, that's good then. If it made such an impact, then people are going to talk about it, and I almost not something over.
It was a great show. I remember I got a phone call. I was off on a holiday. I was in London, I think, with the missus. I just got a phone call off of Lee Pyatt, who is he put it together. He actually mastered our first EP.
Nice.
A long-time friend of ours. But I just got a phone call off Lee, and I was just like, hey man, what's happening? He's like, oh, not much. Do you want to open for an Anal Nathrak in a couple of weeks? I'm like, yeah. Fucking yeah.
If you're getting the opportunity, take it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, just a quick one. I don't know. Did you want to do this maybe? And I'm like, fucking yes, mate, of course.
Of course, we're not going to say no. If that was me, he's like, do you want to support Anal Nathrak? Yes, I will.
I'm trying to remember what album they were touring, but they put one out every 6 fucking months. So.
Is it Sideratum?
I think it was before. It might be Vanessas. 2014. They're putting an album every year.
I think that...
There's always a band that puts an album out every year or whatever.
I know they had, because I think they got released from Candlelight, or they tried to get out of their contract with Candlelight because they put out In the Constellation, I think it might have been. And then 6 months later, they're like, right, we've got the next record, let's go. And Candlelight were like, dudes, you're still on the last record. No. And they're like, we want to put this out. We've got a new album. Fuck you. So there was tension there because they'd already written and recorded and got ready to go a whole new album. And Candlelight were like, no, we're still squeezing this last one.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think another special shows I think that was really good for us. I think was our first tour, which was with Svartkraftrown and Diabolical.
That was the best of weeks, the worst of weeks.
That's cool.
Obviously, it's very problematic for a lot of reasons, which we won't go on to here.
No, any complaints here.
No, we'll talk about that off camera.
Off camera.
When is it? Long story. We spent 2 years talking about it after it happened. So,
obviously, Svartkraftrown were amazing, cool dudes to hang out with. Diabolical, who we got to share the bus with, they were just the best. Loads of fun, loads of great times we had together. And then obviously we met so many great fans along the way that we're still friends with and still gig buddies with now.
We made a lot of friends that week. A lot of really good friends, a lot of good good contact.
That's good.
Yeah.
Met some really good people. Saw some great venues that are now sadly some of them gone from us.
Yeah, Beer Keller being one of them here in Bristol.
Beer Keller, the Beer Keller's gone now. We played the White Rabbit in Plymouth. That was great, and that's gone. Sticky Mike's Frog Bar in Brighton as well.
Never been to Brighton.
Sticky Mike's Frog Bar, who we arrived at, and they immediately gave us menus and went, "You get pizza on the house." To the whole touring party, and I was the second that happened, I knew I was in love.
Sticky Mike's was great.
I'll be happy if
we've
just had a bunch of pizzas ready for us backstage when I start actually gigging with my bands again. Bands out.
We
like,
don't get riders usually, but it's nice.
Don't ask me, what do you want backstage? Lots of hobgoblin.
Yeah, I normally, like, if someone said to me, "What do you want backstage?" I'd be like, "So that's what do you want, comma, backstage? Question mark." I'd be like, "Yes, a backstage would be nice, please."
Yeah, a backstage would be nice. And
not
the other things I just said, pizza and hobgoblin. Come on.
Sorry, Chris.
Not to get things in the bathroom would be as a perk really for us.
Yeah, that would be a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're trying,
you get what you get.
Trying to get your 3-piece suit on and you're getting changed in a bathroom and it's like, where can I put my clothes down that isn't covered in piss?
It's covered in piss and maybe a bit of sick.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
I have mastered the art of getting changed in a pub toilet while standing on my shoes.
Which is a remarkably versatile life skill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a good life skill. So for people watching this, if you wear suits live and you're in a band, do what Chris does. Stand on your shoes.
Maybe I'll do a YouTube tutorial on how to get changed in the pub toilet whilst not standing in piss.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Chris Barton. Today, here's how to not get piss on your suit.
How to not get piss on your suit or not put your clothes down anywhere.
Yeah.
It might be covered in piss or maybe a bit of vomit.
Oh, yeah.
That's the life of being in a band.
To pivot away from the piss,
don't take bookings in Neath.
Let's not talk smack about Neath.
No.
Let's not talk smack about anybody on there.
No. But to pivot away from the piss for a second, I mean, that tour had a lot go wrong with it, but we made a lot of great... I mean, some of the bands that we met on that tour, I think that was the first time we ever saw Scordatura.
Yeah, that was the
and that's still mad that, like, we played over Scordatura, who are now titans of the kind of underground.
I love those guys.
They're such great dudes. We've toured with them once, twice.
Owen, the guitarist, is hilarious.
Oh, man. I think we were... Was it Bristol Death Fest?
Yeah, that was amazing.
We were at Bristol Death Fest. We were watching Hour of Penance.
Oh, yeah, I filmed you guys.
And Owen wanders up to me, stoned as you like, and just goes like, "Hey, man, what's happening?" It's like, "What's the fucking Hour of Penance, dude?" And he's like, "Oh, sound." And then just wanders off.
Yeah, I swear he came up to one boy, was like, "How you doing, man?"
He was high as fuck that day.
Like,
a lot of people were high as fuck that day.
Good, how are you? Because I saw him, saw Scordatura because they were doing the pre-show for FinFest, which was all Finnish death metal bands.
I wanted to go to that, but I couldn't get away.
They were doing the pre-show, and I saw Owen. He's like, "How you doing, buddy?" I was like, "I'm good. How you crazy bastards doing?" Because they're always fun to hang out with, all of them, all the guys.
Yeah.
I cannot say a bad thing about them because there's nothing bad to say
They're great
about
dudes. We did a weekender with them a while back,
them. With other bands,
and it's just such good fun. I think we spent pretty much the whole time, sat in the van watching Still Game.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And Jurassic Park 2 as well. We watched a lot of. Came up with this whole size. Like the gigs were great, but we were sat in the van watching Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah.
They're just the soundest guys. They're so much fun to hang out with. They're such good people. I think the last night of the tour possibly.
Never a moment that whole weekend where we were sort of laughing and joking with them. It was just
exactly.
They're really sound chill dudes, and it's a really good
thing. If you're
way to be.
On tour with a band, you get on well with them, then you've got lifelong friends there.
It makes life so much easier as well if you get on with all the people. I mean, we're pretty easy to get on with. We're quite chill.
Yeah.
You know,
I've noticed about
a bunch of people have been surprised to see us live and then come up to chat to us after, and we're just kind of laughing and joking and just a bit silly, you know.
Yeah.
We're quite funny people. We put on a serious kind of mask for the stage, but we're, you know.
So
we've got a lot of
serious on stage, folks, but don't let that fool you. Not actually really nice.
You know, the art is separate, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Keep kayfabe.
Yeah.
Exactly. like the whole wrestling thing, kayfabe.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day, had to keep it if they were out and about.
Yeah.
If one was a babyface, one was a heel, and they're friends, they can't interact with each other until afterwards.
Yeah.
Crazy times, man.
But yeah. Is there any bands you would like to support? If you would give me a chance.
I'll be back.
Right.
Oh, so
Carry on without me though.
Yeah.
So many, obviously, my boys.
Obviously,
Black Murder. That would be
that'd be great. You guys and Black Dahlia Murder. That'd be great.
I think it would be.
That would be fantastic. I suspect Sam will probably say this when he comes back, but Vitriol. I think we're all in agreement that we love Vitriol.
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be a fucking amazing.
I think we gel quite well with them.
Yeah.
As well, and of course probably Behemoth, but that's they're superstars now. So that's
they played Download last year.
Yeah,
on the main stage, and it was me. Well, my mate was in a suit. It was like a grey suit, but I was in my Bloodstock 2011 shirt, and we had like these serious looks. I was just like puffed out chest and everything, because I tend to lift weights, and these things they get big. And we're just watching Behemoth.
Yeah, no, they're living the dream now.
They actually said that was one of their best sets they've done at that festival.
Oh yeah,
one of them. I can agree. It was really good.
It was
really good is not the word. It was excellent. And of course, that's the last time I saw Slayer.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Decapitated would be one of the to
Decapitated.
With,
we technically did, kind of.
You technically did.
Mammoth Fest.
Yeah. I suppose technically we did, yeah.
Yeah, if you're on the same festival lineup, then you would play with them.
Same stage, same day. I count that. That's
fuck it.
I think when all the bands are playing on the same stage as a headliner, it's like, we play with Decapitated. You all play with Decapitated because you're on the same stage. Obviously, different times. Same different times and stuff. There's a lot of bands I love to support. Like my folk metal one, it'll be like Ensiferum, Corpicloni, and bands like that. Fintroll would be great as well. From a death metal band, it would be like Memoriam.
Okay.
Yeah, Memoriam. I like my old school death mainly. Autopsy. That'd be a band to support for me personally. Massacre would be great as well. Pestilence would be great, yeah, definitely. You guys could play with Pestilence as well, that might work.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I'm not going to say no.
Pestilence, hit us up.
Pestilence. I know some big bands personally, but because I met Terence Hobbs when Suffocation played with Niall at Motion, and I was talking to Terence Hobbs, and he's just a really cool dude.
Yeah.
Really cool dude. They're all cool. Derek, the bassist, he's a really cool dude.
Kind of hard to picture Niall and Suffocation in Motion, isn't it? Sort of.
I was just like, yeah, that's cool. And then they played Fiddlers with Venom Inc. With Nervoso, which was all.
No, I get my Venoms mixed up. Which one is Venom Inc? Is that the Kronos one, or is that the other one?
That's the other one. Kronos is still Venom.
He's still Venom. Venom Inc is.
Because I've seen both Venoms. I saw Venom at one year Bloodstock. I can't remember what year it was now. It might have been 2017 or something. I can't remember. I got my Bloodstock cups. I had to look at one of my cups, but some of the names might have been faded now. Been drinking my beers out of those because I've been drinking a lot of beers. Not good.
I think we all have the last few weeks. There's been a lot of
There have been times where I hadn't drank for maybe a couple of days, and I go back to it, and I was like, "Oh, fine, I'll have a beer." Pissed off.
I usually have a bottle of cider with dinner. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, not binge drinking. I mean, just like having.
I don't binge. The only time I binge drink is when I'm at a festival, just one beer after another.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're at a festival. I'm always doing it, unless they don't drink. Or they're taking drugs, but there you go. And Sam is now just invisible. So, Sam, you're invisible.
Yes, I am. I've become an invisible boy.
So, I'm not invisible. I'm a real boy. I was watching Shrek. I'm not a puppet. I'm a real boy. No, you're not. I can play guitar. Well, that's a lie.
Do the roar.
Oh, yeah, do the roar. I love you, Daddy. I was like, what's wrong with this kid's voice? Did well. But, well, Sam's not here, but I'll ask you two anyway. What's some of your favourite films? Like, do you like horror, comedy, sci-fi, action, stuff like that? Do you like horror films?
To a degree, I like some horror films. I wouldn't say it was my go-to genre. Huge fan of the Evil Dead trilogy, as Dave also is.
Of course.
I'm not a massive film person, to be quite honest with you.
I only go for the films that I like to watch, mainly horror stuff. I've been watching horror films, playing survival horror games like Resident Evil and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that's my go-to. I'm replaying The Last of Us, the first one.
Oh, nice.
I love that game. It was really good.
Yeah, and
still working through
the second one. I completed the second one because I tagged you in it saying, yes. Dave, I'm playing it for crying out loud.
You've almost certainly overtaken me if you've finished it.
I've already finished it.
Yeah, only about halfway through.
This is what I noticed about the story on the second one. It's much darker than the first.
Oh man, yeah, it's pretty intense at times.
Bloody intense. I was just like, well, because Ellie in the first one, she was a bit like, Joel. No, I'm not trusting Joel. I'm not trusting these two people. And then she trusts Joel on the way, and then she doesn't trust Joel anymore. It's like, you just turned into a bitch. But you know.
But I shan't spoil Last of Us for the people out there who are still playing. I'm sure there's many people.
But people would have gotten the inkling that
I would get a chance to play it for another 10 years or so at this point. So.
When it enters the Barton window, that's when you'll play it.
When it plays. So yeah. So Chris, you're not a big film.
Not really, no.
Sorry,
topic. I don't remember there being a film where I was desperate to go see.
Yeah, I was a bit like that. It's like, no. I'll go see that one. Insidious was like one. I want to see that.
Dave's a bit more of a film buff, I think. Yeah.
Dave, your favourite films?
Oh, favourite films.
If you were going to pick 3, I'm not going to say your top 10 because that's.
Oh my goodness. My favourite films ever. Well, if we're counting the Evil Dead trilogy as one film,
you can count. You can count them all as one film.
Count series as one film.
Oh,
then
just count your favorite. Just say your favorite film series. Then that's easier.
Evil Dead's got to be up there.
Evil Dead series, obviously.
It's just so much fun. Evil Dead 2 is arguably the best film ever made, and Bruce Campbell is a treasure.
I love Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give it back my hand.
Like apart from those, like kind of favorite.
I love Evil Dead
films ever. I don't think I could pin it down to just 3 unless I started really.
Yeah, I love the Back to the Future series. Well, I love the first.
Yeah, because I've got like favorite dramas or like favorite comedies or like favorite horrors or sort of.
I got my favorite horrors, all mainly like slashers and a lot of Italian giallo films. One of my favorite Italian films is Zombie.
Oh, the Fulci Zombie.
Fulci Zombie. Yeah.
I love that. Like Fulci, Argento. I made my girlfriend actually watch Tenebrae the other day.
That is a cracking film. Love Tenebrae.
Sat down and watched Tenebrae because I absolutely adore that film. I love all the Goblin soundtracks. All the Argentos. They're just such a good band. And the Arrow Blu-ray of Tenebrae, it's got like not the whole.
I haven't got that. I got the DVD or I might have gotten the Blu-ray actually.
The Arrow Blu-ray of it, it's got live footage. Unfortunately, not the whole gig, but of Goblin in Glasgow playing a selection of bits of music from the film, like
that's cool.
So that's really cool to see that on there.
Yeah, yes, Sam. We were just saying that their favourite films and stuff.
Oh, wow!
Not a film, but one thing I have absolutely just devoured.
Even soundtracks from films.
Is Dark. Like Dark.
I didn't watch that.
German series on Netflix. I won't give.
Oh, you need to watch it. I started watching Mindhunter.
Yeah, Mindhunter's brilliant as well.
But like some of the episodes,
Mindhunter confused with Mindborn.
Like hours, like an hour long, and some are like 50 odd minutes long.
And apart from that, it's just been me watching watching Twin Peaks and all the David Lynch films.
Twin Peaks is
midnight
amazing.
time.
I watched all the series. I got to watch I got to watch the Twin Peaks film, which is a prequel to the series.
Oh, yes.
So then
Firewalk with Me is
Firewalk
fantastic.
with Me, and so then I can understand the new series that they brought out.
The new
later
series is a work of art.
Because I thought I had it all ready to watch, but then I'm thinking I haven't watched the film yet.
No, and like Mulholland Drive, there's like a little bit of crossover with, maybe, sort of, and that's really good. I watched Lost Highway for the first time a few weeks ago, and that's stunning.
Oh yeah, because Rammstein used a bit of footage from that in one of their videos.
Well, yeah, they're quite
Oh yeah, and their song Rammstein.
Yeah, they're on the soundtrack quite a bit. There's a few like really long sequences where it's just set to Rammstein as well. And
Rammstein.
Yeah, you got Rammstein on there. You got Bowie on there, like crazy '90s industrial Bowie as well.
Best Bowie.
Nothing wrong with that.
Best Bowie.
The best Bowie. Earthling.
My personal favourite Bowie.
I got his album Space Odyssey.
Oh.
Because I love this ground control to Major Tom.
Got to get the 90s stuff, man.
I've heard his 60s stuff, 70s stuff, 80s stuff, 90s stuff. Because speaking of Bowie, my mum and dad actually saw David Bowie live.
Oh, jealous.
And behind them, like seats behind them, there was Elton John and Princess Diana.
Oh, shit.
Which was like, okay, they're watching David Bowie. That's cool.
Got good taste, at least.
Yes.
I must depart to go feed my heavily pregnant wife.
Yeah, you carry on.
Some food. So it was lovely chatting to all you guys. Jake, thank you very much for having me on the show. Sandy, good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Once again, many happy returns, Mr. Dave.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Oh,
yeah, take care, guys, and enjoy the rest of the chat.
Give our regards to the wife.
Yes, and I love to
Take it easy, boys.
Take it easy.
Take care, man.
How do I leave?
Just press leave.
You cannot leave.
You cannot leave. Well, now there's two of you left.
And then there were
two.
And there was two members. And me.
Indeed.
And me in my room with not me.
Our esteemed and gentle host.
I am the host. You cannot leave.
Oh shit.
Well, you can leave in a minute. So, I was asking Dave and Chris earlier, Sam, which bands would you like to support? Like you personally, which band would you like to support?
There's a lot. There's so many bands. Off the top of my head, let's just do quick thoughts. Hideous Divinity. I would love to support. Those last two records. Advenians is so fucking good, and the follow-up is amazing. And I also really appreciate like the lyrical content to some really interesting stuff, which is something I'm diverging. We'll get onto that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Hideous Divinity, Nile would be a huge one for me personally. I mean, I can think of loads that don't exist anymore. I'd love to support.
Yeah, I'm like that as well.
But they're not currently going.
I
mean, Vitriol as well. I'd absolutely die if we supported Vitriol. I just fanboy all over the place. Archspire, Rivers of Nile.
Yeah, I was going to say Rivers of Nile.
Loads of great stuff
as well.
Revocation, yeah, I'd love. Thing is, I'd love to play Revocation, but I feel like, I mean, I suppose it'd be the same thing with Archspire. Like, I'd love to play with them, but also I'd be like, oh, I've got to go and play guitar in front of a bunch of people that are here to see Revocation or Rivers of Nile.
Yeah, that's the
point. Archspire, like, I'm not up to those kind of levels, you know.
Yeah, because I was saying, I got a death metal band sorting out because mine's a bit more old school sounding.
Yeah.
And I said the sort of bands I like to support are Memoriam, Autopsy, Massacre, Pestilence,
great
and
bands.
Asphyx.
I like to support
bands like that.
Oh, I love Asphyx. I'd love to support Asphyx. That'd be great.
Never seen them live.
No, neither have I.
And I was meant to be seeing Autopsy this year as well at UK Death Fest, but that has been postponed until next year.
I was supposed to be seeing, hopefully, Nightmare were touring with Benighted. And I absolutely fucking love that band. I'd love to support them as well. We'd be a weird bill because they're very kind of slow and oppressive, where we're much more active and fast. But that would be a great show.
Yeah, I was going to mention my favourite songs on the Raised Hand as well. Crimson, obviously.
People love Crimson, man.
I love Crimson.
I say that like I don't love Crimson. It's Rager, but
one Sins of the Flesh.
Yeah.
because I just like before you actually say the sins of the flesh. It's like because it's always me and Nick going for it.
Yeah, you guys really do. Whenever you're there in the crowd, you really bring the heat. And it means a lot to me as a performer. I think probably to Dave and Chris as well. I feel.
I think if people see that as like, wow, these guys are actually like worth watching, or sort of thing. But,
thank you. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we try to put a lot of energy in, but when we've got people like yourself and like Nick in the crowd, when people are really giving it back, it makes it so much easier. You get, like Dave mentioned earlier, you get that kind of circle, that interchange of energy, and that's what a really good gig is all about.
That's what I do a lot of the local bands here, and you guys, you come to Bristol a lot, so I'm classing you as somewhat local.
We always think of Bristol as a hometown, really.
Oh, I mean, it's your hometown. Yeah. So you're local to Bristol as well as Gloucester. And
if you split the difference between like me and Dave, then like Chris lives in Gloucester as well. If you split the difference between us, then you probably end up with Bristol.
Yeah,
probably so.
Yeah, I guess I'm closer to Hereford these days, but there's
true
metal wise, there isn't that much going on here. So kind of Bristol's kind of the closest hub to us, really.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because
I think Bristol was a big one for us when we started up to like get into. It's like, you know, Bristol's famous for being a hotspot for metal in the UK.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In the metal scene, it's one of those cities that people just talk about as like a kind of. It's got all the kind of the opportunity and all the kind of shows and all the acceptance of the scene, but it doesn't have the same thing as London, where there's just so many bands. It's really tough to get a foot in the door.
Yeah, London.
If you're just kind of coming up in London, you don't know anyone. You're really stuck because there's 100 other bands. But
because I know
Bristol's a bit more welcoming.
I know quite a few people in London anyway. Like personally, some I don't know. I went there and didn't know very many people to hang out with, except for those supporting. Like because I went there in 2015 to see Meverick Creation and Grave at the Underworld.
Underworld's a great venue.
That was the first time going there, and I was like, okay,
I saw Sacred Reich there when I was like 19, and it was phenomenal.
Nice.
And then I saw Shining, the Norwegian one, the jazz one.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I'm not a big fan of the black metal one personally, but I saw Shining in the Underworld. I think it was like a Tuesday night, and there were maybe 20 people there. I was like, what the hell is going on, people?
Yeah, this was like a Saturday night for this gig. Right? It went on some bands were a bit late going on. Meverick Creation, I think, were supposed to be done by like 10:30 or something, and then Grave were supposed to be on at like 10:45 to 11:45 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it went a bit late, but I got to see Meverick Creation that only time when Brett Hoffman was still alive, because he passed away like 2 years ago now. He had stage 4 stomach cancer, I think it was, and I was just like,
another way to go.
What?
Yeah,
we lost a lot of people in this scene. We lost a lot of people.
We've lost a lot over the years, yeah, especially recently. But I mean, metal's kind of coming into like a coming of age period now. Like it's easy to forget, you know, kind of a lot of music's been around since the 50s, 60s. Metal only really kind of took off late 70s, 80s, really.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not a scholar. Don't quote me by all means.
Not a scholar. Anyway,
hey Sam, you're full of bullshit. What the hell is this? But
yeah, some people are like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I'm going to catch flack for it, I'm sure. But if enough people, you know, cared about what I say to correct me, then I'm sure I would catch.
Yeah, people just comment on what I said, like say, "Oh, Jake, you know so much about death metal." Well, yeah, but there's a lot of bands I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. There's so much out there you can't know. I think
Metal
Archives has got like 15 million bands or some shit on it.
Everyone calls me like a metal bloody connoisseur because I know too much.
I mean, I think metal encourages that though. There's a lot of studiousness in metal fans. People really get into it, and they like to delve in. They like to learn who was in what band and who did what and what things. And like, there's a lot. It encourages people to really get a lot into it. And I mean, on the bad side, that can turn into kind of gatekeepy behaviour, which I don't necessarily approve of. But
I do.
I'm just one guy in a metal band. I'm not the king of metal, I guess. I don't get to decide.
I'm not the king of metal. I just know certain things because I was watching. When I was talking to one of my last
things and you listen to records and you pick stuff up and you read bits and you just kind of get to know stuff. You know,
I've
always been one of those people that knows what track 4 on any given record is, and you know,
that's it.
Some people know stuff, some people don't.
Because one of the members from Corbucon, he used to be in a death metal band back in the 90s.
Oh, no way.
I can't think which member it is now, but he used to be in a death metal band, and I'm trying to remember what their name was, and they're really good.
Yeah.
I think my favourite piece of metal trivia is that Larry Lalonde, who used to play guitar for Primus, was in Possessed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
which is just wild to me.
I was just like, so you went from what a lot of people are still arguing who's the first death metal band possessed or death.
I mean, Seven Churches is, you know, a lot of people hold it up, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I got on vinyl because I love the album. I love it. It's one of my favourites, and CD, of course, is on my iPod.
I haven't listened to it for a while. I've put it back on.
I'm just going to listen to some old classics. I've seen Possessed live once, and that was Bloodstock 2017, and I was in the pit for the entire set. I did not leave that area once. And but yeah, I know bits and pieces about metal, not everything.
I mean, yeah, you learn stuff about metal, and yeah, it encourages a lot of kind of scholarliness, doesn't it? So
yeah, and sometimes
I feel like I've verged onto this from another topic, and I can't remember what we were talking about before.
Supporting bands.
Supporting bands, yeah, that was it. I mean, there's
Aborted
as well.
Aborted.
One.
Yeah, I was going to mention like Aborted and bands like that. And it'd be great to like you guys.
They're one of those bands that just keep killing it. They're just, you know, they had the kind of the weird deathcore years. I mean, I wasn't really into them so much back. I didn't really know a lot of their older stuff, and then they came out with Global Flatline, and they've just been nailing it since then. They're doing that same thing that Anana Thrak do, that Behemoth were doing, but I wouldn't say they're doing now. Where just every record that comes out, you're like, oh yeah, they did that, but better. I see. It's just like you had that whole trajectory of like, surely it can't be better than the last. Oh, it is. It is.
Oh, it is better than the last one.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's kind of similar. Vader do a similar thing. They kind of, I mean, they more kind of hold steady. Vader have been doing the same thing since they started in the 90s, and they will. I think that's great personally, because you get a Vader record, and you're going to get a Vader record. I love that because Vader are fucking sick.
Excuse me a moment.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Aborted do some great stuff.
Yeah.
Who else is there that I'd like to support? I don't know.
I said
all the big names, obviously.
I said to Dave, you guys could do really well supporting Pestilence or someone like that, maybe.
Yeah, some of that kind of classic stuff. We try to kind of blend a bit of classic death metal vibe in to what we do. I mean, we don't necessarily do it consciously. We don't look at a song and go, we need a thrash section and a blast beat section and a classic headbang section.
You just do what fits.
We kind of see how it fits and how it flows. But, you know, I mean, like you say, Sins of the Flesh, your favourite song you were saying, like, that's got a lot of just kind of straightforward.
And Crimson.
It's got a lot
I love the whole album, but I picked my two favourite songs if I was going to pick, like, what are your two favourites on that? What's your two favourites on this one? Crimson.
Well, my two favourites.
Well, yeah, what are your two favourites as well?
Oh.
Or what's your favourite songs in general? Do you like the whole album?
I mean, the thing is, it's always tricky to say from kind of an internal perspective, because when you've created it, it's, you know, it's like picking your favourite kid, I suppose. I don't have any kids. Well, no. I mean, yeah, but it's a tricky one, because from the inside, you don't just have, you can never objectively listen to the song. You've always got the writing process, how it came to be, what was happening at the time. There's some kind of baggage to it, but I mean, just listening to them as pure songs, what's my favourite? I mean,
like pure songs, like,
you know, Incantation's probably a favourite to play, definitely. I always really enjoy that for the live experience. I think it's got some great riffs. And it's nice. I like when we get on stage and we get that kind of that preamble, the little bit of kind of stage setting, and then just drop into that riff. It's always such a good feeling. Crimson's just so much fun. And it always gets a pop.
A crowd pleaser, in
it? It's a great fucking song. It's got some of those moments in it that I, as a listener, really enjoy. You know, when you're listening to a song and you just occasionally, it'll just do something, you just go, oh, shit, that was good, you know? It's got the first time we drop into that kind of Crimson's chorus.
Yeah, just hear it.
Every time, man, it gets
every time that chorus comes, it's just like, I'm just like,
it's just huge.
And then headbanging until my neck just fucking stops.
It's a headbanger. There are some of our songs, some bits where I kind of almost wish we've written a bit, I'd written some, like, less lyrics, so I'm just like, yeah, I could just kind of headbang there, you know, just kind of drop into a giggle. But no, I have to sing. Also, like when Chris came up with the idea, because when we play it live and we've got that kind of bridge and we just really slow it down, and when Chris came up with that, that's just great fun to do because it catches people out so often.
Yeah,
it's like,
kind of like you really slow it down and people go, oh, they're going to do like a slam thing, and then we drop in faster than we were playing before, and it's always good fun.
That wasn't even a thing we planned. That's a thing that
of course that happened live the first time, didn't it?
It just happened one time.
Yeah, Chris just did it, and we all just kind of locked in.
Just one of those magical moments where we just kind of all psychically linked and know what we're doing.
Yeah, you just all just click together and it happened.
Yeah,
it's not like you got thrown off by what he did. You all just thought, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, it just kind of worked.
Yeah, just in that split second, just went like, oh, I see what he's doing. Okay,
Yeah.
slow it down.
Slow
Just kind of gradually, and then straight back in. Great, really, really good.
Yeah, because every time I've seen you guys live, you always bring that same level of energy.
It's got to be done.
Every
really,
show.
If you don't walk off stage sweating, then you haven't done. I mean,
I
you know,
was
obviously,
sweating at the
play all
gig.
kinds of music. If you're Ulver, if you're playing avant-garde ambient, fine, don't run laps. But you know, because again, we said about Doom and kind of how to pitch that. This band called King Goat from Brighton.
Yes.
Who are phenomenal.
I love King Goat.
Awesome band. Trim, their frontman, is a friend of mine. I remember that I saw them in the Griffins first time I ever saw them. Yeah, and they have such a still performance, but they have such presence. They are undeniably there in the room, and they're magnetic. You can't not look at them. And that's, that's not to say that any kind of more still performance isn't valid, but when you're playing music like we do, where you're playing, 150, 170 BPM death metal, if you come off stage and you haven't broken a sweat, you haven't fucking tried hard enough.
No, because you guys always come off
extremely good
sweating. You're always coming off ugh.
Yeah, the waistcoats were the
questionable choice.
Will you continue
to
wear the waistcoats?
Shows that we did not enjoy.
Oh no.
Will you continue to wear the waistcoats, or will you take them off at any point?
I mean, who knows what the future holds, but it's not in the book. It's not planned.
Because someone might come and watch you.
We're not going to pull. I'm quite gratified. The thing is, we joked about it a while back. The problem is we can't now take the waistcoats off because we've had enough comparisons to Akakaka when they wore suits, and then they stopped wearing suits.
Yeah, because I watched one of their videos from one of the old songs, and it's when the singer still had long hair, and they were wearing full kitted suits.
Full kitted suits was their whole kind of. They were one of the first bands to really bring it into the kind of public eyes and always on, like a kayfabe kind of thing, like the idea Chris referenced earlier. They were one of the first bands to kind of bring that in, and then where they've done that, and now they've stopped wearing suits. We now can't stop wearing suits because people
will continue to wear suits because for
Akakaka stopped wearing the suits, and then Ascaris stopped wearing the suits. I see.
Because for Herbicidal,
dressing like Cockney jewel thieves, then we'd still get that.
Yeah,
I mean, I wish I could pull off some of the outfits that Paul Scanlon wears. That man has phenomenal style.
Absolutely.
Saw them in the Thekla with a Nal Nathrak, and the guy's wearing full-on flare jeans, leather waistcoat, no shirt, and long winkle picker shoes, bright white shoes, and just shredding like a beast. He is goals. Paul Scanlon is an idol. Love that man.
Yeah.
I couldn't pull it off.
I was going to say for Herbicidal, we wear those funky 70s shirts, but I just bought 2 shirts with the sugar skulls on it, like the Day of the Dead skulls. So I'm going to wear one of those for whenever we're doing our live set, and one's for my Day of the Dead suit, which I'm not wearing live. That's just no. I'm waiting for wear that for Devin Townsend at Bloodstock next year.
Okay.
Just because I want to look fancy for Devin.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I love Devin Townsend because everyone will look at but you love death metal and stuff. It's like, but I love Devin Townsend.
People can say
he's amazing.
I listen to an enormous amount of death metal. I listen to an enormous amount of harsh industrial noise. I listen to an enormous amount of jazz and classical.
Yeah, because
I've spent the last 3 days singing songs from musicals to myself.
I love musicals.
I watched.
We can talk about anything on this channel, and people are like, "Hey."
There's been some really good stuff lately. Some really good theatre stuff on YouTube because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And Bristol. Yeah, Les Mis is great.
I was meant to see it on the 7th of April, and then 3 days after that, I was going to get a flight to New Zealand and be there for 3 weeks.
Oh, nice.
But that never happened. Alas, never happened.
But yeah, there's been some really great musicals on. I mean, we watched the 25th anniversary Royal Albert Hall rendition of Phantom of the Opera recently.
Oh, I've seen Phantom.
And my man Ramin Karimloo, he has the pipes, man. He can just sing. It's fantastic.
I've seen Phantom of the Opera
music is music, and people. I'm not trying to shit on people that don't listen to a wide range. If you find something you like it and you don't listen to a lot of other stuff, that's fine. I mean, I know Chris listens to more and more wider stuff increasingly, but he mostly just listens to kind of metal, a bit of kind of Spanish guitar stuff, but the way I look at it as a musician, everything's a source for inspiration. You can take something from everything.
Yeah, I get what you don't want to do. Everywhere.
Yeah, and so I think you should, if someone comes up and goes, "Hey, this track's great," give it a shot. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it twice. Like I said, I'm not trying to shit on anyone for not having a wide taste of music. You like what you like, and that's fine. But people that just go, oh, I'm only going to listen to death metal because only death metal is the thing. It's just
all
like,
those that just say I'm only going to listen to
childish.
metal and nothing else.
Yeah, it's
I
like, by all
was
means,
like
only
that
like
for a
metal,
while when I was a
that's-
kid. When I first got into metal, I only just listened to metal. Then I realised, okay, I actually liked other music before I just stopped
Yeah,
listening to
I
metal.
mean,
Like
when I was like
Queen
14,
and
15,
Elvis. And
yeah, exactly.
don't judge me, people, but I do like a bit of Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra's great.
Yes, nice.
Love Sinatra.
Nothing wrong with Sinatra. We've got,
What's wrong with a bit of Sinatra?
it's got to have a bit of Sinatra in there.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, because I was raised in a very musical household, a lot of kind of jazz,
Yes,
a lot of
so was
Joni
I, because my
Mitchell,
mum loves stuff like
Weather Report, stuff like that.
Elvis, Queen, Sinatra, Nat King Cole was another.
Yeah, there's just good
on that
music and
side.
bad music. You know,
Sam's dad is a big jazz boy.
he's the big jazz boy.
Jazz gets him.
He loves that jazz
well.
bass, that Stanley Clark, that Weather Report, that Jaco Pastorius.
Yeah, my dad's a big like he likes a lot of funk music. He likes some Earth, Wind and Fire, Cool and the Gang.
Oh, I love Earth, Wind
He
and
loves
Fire.
Dire Straits. I love Dire Straits.
Yeah, I never used to like Dire Straits. I'm getting into them more lately.
And
if you don't like Dire Straits,
Bill Withers, that's one of his favourites. Bill Withers, he loves Bill Withers. Like Lovely Day, that song, he loves that one. So my music was varied, and then I found metal after listening to like rap music and stuff.
Yeah, you kind of. I mean, like Chris mentioned, I kind of fell into it through nu metal. I'm of that generation, really.
Yeah,
I was growing up, and Linkin Park were a thing, and I kind of went,
it was
that's
a
kind
mix
of cool.
of nu metal, but the classics like Maiden, Sabbath, Motorhead, Judas Priest.
I mean, that's the thing, because I grew up.
And I got into Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, Pantera, and then
all that good
DC,
stuff.
DC in between all that, and Jimi Hendrix and all
that. I mean, like, because we grew up in a very musical household, there was a lot of prog rock growing up. Dad's always been like a big fan of Yes,
rock,
and Jethro Tull, Frank Zappa as well. So that was kind of my first exposure, like guitar,
Cat
bass.
Stevens is all that as well.
I do like Cat Stevens, yeah. And yeah, so then there was that, and then I kind of got up, like grew up, became a teenager.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of fell into like some nu metal was about, so I kind of listened to that, and I was like, that's cranky, I like that.
Metal,
System of a Down, and
System of a Down. Love them.
I think I got like
still love them now.
MP3 gave me like Chimera instead of like a System of a Down song or something, and that was
I still love System.
That was a big step.
I still love System, even though I listen to more heavier bands than System. But I still love System.
Yeah, System did like 4 completely solid albums. You really can't 5.
Also, I used to listen to a lot of Nirvana because I got into Nirvana around that time.
Nirvana have got some good stuff, yeah.
And I thought, Nevermind's their first album. And then I looked back further. No, Bleach is their first album. And I've heard Bleach, and people might think I may get a bit of a diverse lot of people here, but I like Bleach a lot more for whatever reason.
I think, I'm not a Nirvana scholar, but Bleach has got some really
I like
stuff
Bleach because it's got a bit more of a, because a lot of them would have been like punk fans back in the day, so they got kind of that punk attitude in there.
Yeah, exactly.
The music's a bit punky in places.
Well, it kind of grew out of punk, didn't it?
Grew out of punk. But I also like Nevermind.
It was like a response to that.
I do love Nevermind in Naruto. I think I just said that wrong now. I do like her. Yeah, that's and Smell Like Teen Spirits because I learned that song on bass and guitar.
Yep, one of the first ones that many people did.
And one of the easiest ones, people, is Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. That's pretty easy.
Everyone plays it wrong though.
Everyone plays it wrong.
Everyone plays it wrong.
I played it wrong for like the first.
Wait, how does everyone play it wrong?
I mean, like most people, when most people pick it up, when you pick up a guitar, you play it on you'll play it on the E string, and you'll be like open 3 5.
It's not.
It's on the
It's on the
D and the G string. It's like a bar.
I didn't know that for such a long time.
No, I didn't know that for such a long time either.
Like
because maybe
7 years later, 6, 7 years later, maybe a bit longer than that, I actually found out it was D and G.
People are doing it with power chords on the E rather than
people start out and it's fine. I did it. Everyone starts out, you go, oh, it's that, and then you learn it's not. It's
Yeah, I thought it was
in G. So because
I played it wrong for such a long time.
Yeah, we all did. I did for years.
And then I managed to learn a bit of rock and roll by Led Zeppelin when I used to have guitar lessons at school.
A lot of Led Zeppelin growing up, actually. That's big.
Managed to learn on bass, Whole Lot of Love, that
classic bass track.
I mean, I love all that stuff because you can get inspiration from like maybe not Led Zeppelin
like
in death metal, but you can get in like a doom metal one.
The thing is, like, there's a lot to music. Music's not just necessarily the notes that they play or how heavy and distorted the guitars are or whether or not they shriek, but there's ideas in lyrics, there's atmospheric ideas, there's song construction ideas. There's a lot of ways you can be inspired to write music by other songs that aren't just...
I listen to a lot of folk music as well. I love folk, especially a lot of the Scandinavian folk like Waldruna and Highland and Anheim. And I was meant to see Waldruna this year in June, but now I'm seeing him, or he's got the whole band with him. Einar, who's fantastic.
Einar Selvik,
yeah, he used to be
music for Vikings.
Yeah, he used to be in Golgoroth. He used to play drums.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. And I looked, I was like,
what? Funny old place.
He used to play drums in that band. Brilliant. No wonder why a lot of the songs sounded good when I heard them.
Yeah. Oh, this is why I like that.
I did like Golgoroth. I have seen Golgoroth. I saw 2010 Bloodstock, and then a mate of mine came with me at the Fleece, but he went home because he was ill.
I've never actually seen Golgoroth live. I do need
to
grab
it. Great.
Weren't you with us when we saw him in TJ's?
Nope. I was with you when you saw Desecration in TJ's.
Oh,
Desecration,
yeah.
That was a good show.
One of my the first time I saw them was 2011 at the Croft.
That was a good show as well. I think it was that. I've seen Desecration.
That was 2011. It was Millie's old band Genocidal supporting them.
Nice.
And Ian Aston was the guitarist in Genocidal.
Oh, no way.
Oh, that's cool.
That's how I met those guys, and met Tottenham because of Unknown Fear. If you remember Unknown Fear.
I remember Unknown Fear. I nearly joined Unknown Fear.
Nearly.
At one point, I didn't drive, and they were based in
Someone
Swindon.
said you nearly did. I can't remember who said it though.
There we go. You have to tell me who. I want to know who knows. Who's been studying my life?
Me!
Who is the scholar of Sam?
Who is the scholar of Sam? This is me, the hairbrush.
Good lord. I did very nearly join that because I think I played a show with them in my old metalcore band, Create Chaos, years and years and years ago. And then when I kind of fell out of that, they ended up looking for a guitarist, and I was like, well, I play guitar, I could join that, but it just logistically wouldn't work out. They were based in Swindon. I don't drive, so alas, was not to be. And then they split up, and then we got Separation. So
yeah, and the first time I saw Separation, you can see me in the footage, but I'm not wearing a metal shirt. I'm wearing Phantasm.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Phantasm shirt, because I got into that film around that time, and I was like, wow, this film's great. When did it come out? 1979.
Good times.
It's 4 years old.
Yeah, I think I've got an Unknown Fear patch on my dressing gown.
Yeah, I got it somewhere in a box, and it's probably going to go back on my blue jacket because it's. Yeah, I've got to put Separation one back on as well.
Yep.
Consume.
I've got a nice jacket, and I've got a big pile of patches. I just haven't got around to it. Just need to sort that out.
Yeah, I'm doing that with a death metal one now. I'm just covering up the buttons because the buttons are just a bit annoying.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I have like 3 patches, so I can't. Yeah, they're not attached to anything.
I think I got over like 100 or 200 patches now. I haven't counted them.
It's a good total.
And
I don't know. I just see
Mr. Simon Can.
I like a patch.
Yeah, we all know Simon Can because he had some patches and he gave me some.
We do.
We all know Simon. He's a lovely bloke.
Yeah, he's a good lad. Lovely bloke.
He's a lovely bloke. Metal brethren, as he
indeed
as his catchphrase. Damn it, I can't say words. And I was going to ask about the album. How long did that take to record? Is there a funny story to this?
Very long.
It took a long time.
Is there a short version of this?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, basically, we took far too fucking long. So
guitars took too long. Bass took too long.
Well, basically, there were a combination of things. To go more into it, some of the music on that record was written in like first draft stuff. So like we got together 2012. We put together the Initiation EP in 2014.
Yeah,
to be ready for that.
I've alphabetical.
Diabolical.
I've got all my CDs in alphabetical order so I can find it and have a look if that's the date.
Yeah, it should be. I think it is.
2014.
Should know, really.
Yeah, we got it.
You should know your stuff.
We got it ready in time for the Park tour, and that was March 2014. So yeah.
There you go. So
there you go. Oh,
recorded 2013, came out 2014.
Yeah.
And then we came off that and we kind of, we started looking to put in new material together. And some of those songs, I mean, Apocalypse Eternal was one of the first tracks we wrote. We've had some of that for such a long time. Crimson, obviously, we did the demo version on the EP, but that was, I don't know, was Crimson the first one we wrote, or was it Sins of the Flesh?
I think Sins was the first.
I think Sins might have been the first
They were
song
kind
that
of
we
written
wrote.
at the same time, like side by side.
Yeah, kind of concurrently, side by side. But yeah, so some of that material we've had for a long time, and then stuff like Waiting for the Whip, Incantation came along later. And yeah, we got together and we went, right, we're going to record this album, and then pre-pro took a longer time than we thought.
Yeah.
And yeah, just a mixture of things kept getting in the way, or things didn't get planned properly.
Well, let's just say it took a long time.
It took us about 4 years, which is, from like we had a little bit of writing, we had some pre-pro, Chris had some injuries, I had some work commitments.
Yeah.
It was, it took too long, basically.
So end this off. If people want to buy your CD or T-shirts or patches or whatever flipping hell else you got now, you probably got a bottle opener for all I know.
We don't have a bottle opener, but now we will now.
That's an idea. You planted the seed, Jake.
Where can people find it for people that want to get into your music?
If you want to find our music, we're on all the social media,
Facebook,
on
Spotify,
Instagram, Twitter, at Ascaris Official.
Yep. But like, if they want to buy stuff.
ASCARIS Official.
Official.
We've got links in bios for all the stuff there. We're up on Spotify. You can find our merch and our music through Bandcamp, ascarisofficial.bandcamp.com.
Yep.
We've got a wide range
of buying things.
Yeah, a wide range of stuff up there.
Buy their stuff.
So yeah, we've got some T-shirts, we've got some CDs, we've got patches, we've got enamel pins that I think look quite.
Yeah, I got the pin with the A on it.
It's a good pin. I'm really chuffing how they came out.
As well,
and we've got some new ideas in the works, so there should be some new music.
Yes.
Hopefully, less than 4 years from now.
Well, less than 4 years.
I think same as every band out there. The extended time off that we've all had, shall we say, has given us chance to write some stuff. I mean,
that's great because when this pandemic,
we've all got a little setup at home that we can kind of get ideas down.
Yeah,
so I think we've been just kind of all plugging away individually, sort of getting ideas down and sending little snippets to each other. But it'll be nice to actually get back in the same room and.
Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to getting back in the room. A lot of our best writing has happened. You can sit at a computer and you can write down riffs and you can record ideas, but until you kind of get in a room and you feel it in your hands and you sit in the sound, you don't really get a true example of how it's going to feel.
Looking forward to that, to getting back.
You don't get the experience of it until you sit and play it as a group. So we're looking forward to getting back in the room.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah. So, Well, I'll ask you another question before we end. How have you been coping since the COVID-19 bollocks happened? How have you been coping since we all been locked down and whatnot? Well, when it happened,
it's been tough. Obviously, I was working at home for a bit, and then was then furloughed. But it's just trying to keep busy, really. Sort of fill the days with stuff. There's been a lot of gaming, a lot of writing. Obviously, I have. We're quite lucky to have some little pets, and they've kind of kept us sane.
Good, no, you got pets.
yeah, our little rats have kept us sane to some degree. But I mean, there's only so much Netflix you can watch. So I've been trying to learn some practical skills again, like some internet-based stuff, like languages. Trying to pick up Italian again. Started Couch to 5K recently, and that's been fun. Sort of getting out there and running, if you can picture that.
Yeah, I do a lot of walking when I can.
Yeah, just trying to keep your days full and full of activities. Really,
just keep productive. Make sure you're in the right mindset to do it. Because if not, then you're kind of buggered, really.
Yeah, inactivity isn't great.
I try to write a lot.
Great. You don't feel productive, and
play music.
It's a bit of a spiral,
Play music, video games. Watch films, and lift weights.
Films, yeah.
More swims.
See, contrary to you guys, I've done like no exercise at all. I've left my house maybe 3 times in like 6 months.
There's times where I don't leave my house for like maybe a month and then I go out.
I mean, I really should like go for a walk around the block today, maybe.
That's what I do. I walk around my block and I go a bit further from my block.
I'm slowly transforming into a potato, but
I'm a potato, but then I'm getting a bit muscular because I'm lifting weights.
yeah, there you go. Strong potato.
I'm a strong potato.
But yeah, I mean,
Irish.
It's been a strange one. You know, I mean, I work in my day job is I work in a bar and I work as a live music events manager in a bar. So
there's no music at the moment, so you're just doing the bar stuff.
I'm just furloughed.
Oh, so you're not back at your pub yet?
No, we've decided not to open yet.
Griffin hasn't done
we've got, the COVID regulation dossier is a long book, and we don't want to half-ass it. No, we didn't want to be in a position where we catch that first wave. People are just rushing out and getting too drunk. We don't have adequate precautions. We want our customers and our staff to be safe.
Yeah, you want them to be safe. You need them to be healthy. Otherwise, you're
going out on a Saturday night and having.
That's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't go out.
I didn't go out either.
No,
I stayed in.
No. I went to
my bloody birthday.
I went and saw Heather instead. I saw Heather on Saturday instead and just stayed home with her, and then went out Sunday.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just nice and chilled, But yeah, I mean, so I've basically I've been on furlough, which is, it's kind of, I'm lucky in a sense. I'm quite in a quite privileged position to be in that because, effectively I'm kind of on holiday, really. So yeah, I've just been trying to use some of the time creatively. I mean, I have spent more time than I should have done on the sofa with a video game controller in my hand.
Yeah, because I've been trying to do practice so I can take my theory test when I can actually rebook it. Because I was meant to do it in March, but then they closed it, and then I couldn't do it.
It's all shut down, yeah.
I was hoping getting that done, and then I can do my driving test, and then just get it all done, and have my gardening business. That's what I'm looking forward to. But at the moment, I'm just using it to do this, my music, and maybe turn what I'm doing now, but more of a radio show because someone can help me out with that.
That'd be cool, yeah.
And then get permission from you guys and other bands to play your music, of course.
It is really granted, sir.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, like Dave said, you try and spend some time, try and learn some more stuff and expand the mind a bit. I've got a big pile of pretentious books sat next to me, so
yeah. No, I got.
This is the most recent addition.
I got Audible
to the book pile for what Sam's reading now.
Cool. Yeah,
so there we go.
I got plenty of H.P. Lovecraft stories to finish, and I got a book on Bruiser Brody, who was a hardcore wrestler before hardcore wrestling was even a thing.
Oh, nice.
Bruiser Brody.
That'll be a name that Dave recognises. He's a resident wrestle boy.
No, I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring, and there's a
it mentioned his murder, which is just not good. A wrestler murdered him, and that wrestler never got charged once because they did his trial, finished it, and then Dutch Mantel and Tony Atlas didn't even get their subpoenas. They got them after the trial, which I thought, that's pretty crap.
That's a fairly strong miscarriage of justice, yeah.
Yeah, but it happened because they used to go wrestling in Puerto Rico, and that's where it happened. And Puerto Rico, I got to give it to the fans. I give it to them because they love wrestling, but then again, they take it too damn seriously.
I mean, if in anything, if you give people a thing, some people will take it too damn seriously.
That's true. But then here, we don't take things seriously, so it's all good.
No, exactly.
And to finish off, you said you're working on some stuff. When you get back to the studio, will you be making that magic happen?
When will we be making that magic happen?
Yeah, when you will you be making it happen?
It's too early to say.
I think it would be irresponsible to give an estimate.
Yeah.
Well,
we've got a long history of on a personal level talking to people and going, it'll be some months, and it's not. Well, so material is being written, so
material's being written. That's good. As long as
you can maybe expect a single inside the year. Who knows?
As long as stuff's being written, but you don't have an exact date for when you're going to start doing it. That's fine. That's more. That's more than I need to know. That's more than enough.
Yeah, it's too soon to promise dates, but it's coming.
There's complete songs. There's incomplete songs. There's
complete some songs.
Riffs on their own that are a bit homeless and don't have anywhere to go.
Just like Don't know where
We
I'm
are
going.
planning. I can tell you, we are planning to look at like a shorter form thing, like singles or an EP, rather than a full album. So it will be sooner.
Do that.
When it does
later.
come
We're
out,
not
it's
waiting for like a whole
probably-
10 tracks before we can go.
like a 4 or 5 track or something like that.
It's just so we know you're still alive and you're still making
We
music.
do exist. We were
You
planning to
still do
spend this
exist.
year actually really gigging really hard to make up for.
But obviously,
We spent a lot of time with the album going, we're going to take it easy on the gigs because we're writing the album. And then we didn't really do a lot of work on the album either. So we spent
do a lot of gigs
3-4 years not doing much at all.
Yeah,
So we were planning to spend this year really hitting it hard on the gigging circuit and really reminding people that we're out there and they're
still
a name
here.
to be paid attention to. But we're still here, basically, yeah.
Still here.
And then obviously, for reasons we're all aware of, that hasn't shaken out properly. So, but new material's been in the works, and once it's ready, we'll be playing everywhere. If you're booking shows, if you're watching this and you're booking shows for 2021, get in touch.
Guys.
We will play your shows. We will blast your fans.
If you're promoters,
have a good time.
Your gig promoters here in the UK or wherever these guys go next, if they go to Europe or whatever.
We're with Enso Music Management for bookings, so you can email Elliot at ensomusicmanagement.com.
There you go. So for any gig promoters, that's the person you need to contact.
Send him a message.
You want blast beats? Still do them.
You got blast beats?
Yeah.
You want a band in suits? You
want fancy blasts? We got them.
You want fancy bands? So, well, thank you. Well, Chris is gone, so thank him earlier, but I'll thank you too for joining Jake's Metal
Thank you
Chat.
for having us.
Episode 8.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And carry on with what are you going to be doing today? I don't know. You probably might play video games, and you might.
I've got a computer to build at some point in the near future.
Well,
so
you do that, and just keep yourselves occupied. That's
a coffee table full of birthday beers that need.
Yes, Dave's got a birthday and all. So.
Oh yeah, and Dave, you got your birthday, so you get properly drunk for your birthday. And,
I shall.
And if you
go do that,
and then leave us all a message to say, yeah, I'm somewhat dead and alive.
Yes. I'll be sending inappropriate texts to you later. Don't worry.
Yeah, just saying, oh yeah, I'm so. I know. Like.
It wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't actually got those text messages before.
I'll leave you guys to what you're going to do. You're burning the computer and Dave's going to get drunk. And check out Ascaris, people.
Yes.
Give me your support.
Please do.
Yep.
Take care of yourself.
And thanks for having us, man.
Stay safe.
And be safe.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Bye con Dios. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen, and just overall goodbye. And Dave's gonna do that. Just leave when you're ready.
Right, okay. We have to leave.
Well, you can leave, or I can stop recording. But we can just chat, have a little bit of extra footage.
I mean, yeah, I'm happy to do B-roll if you want. I've got nothing
B-roll.
pressing.
I
know Dave's got a birthday.
So thank you very much. Stop recording in a minute. Just someone else do something stupid, and then I'll stop recording. Because this would be fun for people like, what is going on?
I mean, yeah, this is what happened?
See you there, guys.
Adios.
Adios.
Adios.